for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram Center. John Party in Cal Expo. More info at CITBFest.com.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
I'm not going to lie to you. The energy feels weird today. I was trying to figure out why. I was like, why is the energy so weird? Oh, it's because we've all forgotten what the freaking sun looks like.
Oh, that's
this
true.
This is the most fog I think I've ever experienced, just period. And I'm used to just leaving my house now and barely being able to see my neighbor's house or driving to work, and it's just
foggy.
Just bleak and gray everywhere.
We got a little sun like a week ago.
It was like, here's a glimpse. Here's the sun. Remember this? Oh, it's gone again. I don't know if I've ever seen, like, just genuinely experienced this much. And I know you're from Washington, so
I'm not from Seattle though.
But
I'm from Spokane.
Spokane's
very opposite.
It's very nice and shiny.
Mostly, even in the winter, you'll get more sun.
Does that irritate a lot, like people in Washington? Like everybody thinks it's just all bleak and gray because it's Seattle?
For sure.
Okay, well, sorry to insult you.
And Seattle and us, we have like a really bad relationship.
Oh, really?
Because we're like the little brothers
the beef
of Washington State.
Okay.
The actual state. So like they flex because the pro teams are in their city. But I don't care. It's our pro teams for the whole entire state.
Oh, sure.
They're snobs over there.
They claim... Like Seattle claims that the pro teams aren't for Washington, they're just for them.
They flex more because it's in their city. It's like, well, yeah, sometimes that happens when you're in a big state like that, where we're opposite sides. Like, yeah, you're the biggest city, so that's where the pro teams are going to go.
It's not the Washington Seahawks, it's the Seattle Seahawks.
Exactly. Seattle Supersonics.
Cool. Well, they don't exist anymore. They're gone.
Hopefully they'll be back.
But you got Gonzaga.
do got Gonzaga.
Yes, that is true.
The home of Domantas Sabonis. And, of course, we'll talk about Domantas Sabonis and the Sacramento Kings. They went winless over the weekend. Not surprising. Lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers in an entertaining game. Lost to the Detroit Pistons in a less entertaining game. Welcome into Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports. Matt George, Kayla Anderson. We got Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass. And on this gloomy Monday, we have NFL football to react to. Thank God, guys, we had that NFC Championship game, the Seahawks and the Rams in Seattle, Washington. So we didn't have to, or that we got to a little bit of a palate cleanser, I suppose, or just something entertaining and fun after simultaneously the Kings were losing to the Detroit Pistons and that Patriots-Broncos game, ? I mean, Kyle, you have a hot take. You think that game is the worst championship football game ever?
I've gone back. I can only speak to my experience, which as a child means like 10 years. Mm-hmm. But in my 10 to 15 years of watching football, I believe that is the worst conference championship game that has ever been played.
I'm curious as to why you think that, because I think the general observation is there were not many points. But it's like an old school kind of crazy situation where you get the weather that comes in. Makes it kind of fun to see what kind of weird things happen in the second half. But is it just because there weren't enough points scored?
No, I think it just was not football. It was not a representation of who was the deserving champion because they weren't playing football. They were just bleeding clock and no one could tell what yard line they were on and just punting and missing field goals back and forth.
Well, see,
they scored no points.
We're going to get into this because we have a brand new segment we're debuting today called Pick a Side a little bit later on at 11:45 where we're going to just go back and forth on a couple different topics. And one of those topics is about playing in the weather because, Kyle, it didn't start snowing and wasn't really blizzardy or the weather didn't become a factor until like halfway through the third quarter. By that point, there were already 3 missed field goals. The game was terrible long before the bad weather rolled in, and it's why I've been saying consistently, going back to last week, right, the winner of the Seahawks and Rams was going to win the Super Bowl. So congratulations to Kayla Anderson, Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl champion, Seattle Seahawks.
Well, let's not say that yet.
Yeah, nope, it's done. Yet. Put it down in ink. It's over for the New England Patriots, which it is kind of cool. It's not kind of cool. It's gross, but it's I guess cool to see the Patriots back in the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady has nothing to do with it. Bill Belichick has nothing to do with it. So congratulations to Patriots fans. You had to suffer for all of like 3 seasons before you got back to where you're used to being. So yay you, I guess. But you don't have any chance because the Seahawks are going to run all over the Patriots on Super Bowl Sunday at Levi Stadium. So Niner fans, brace yourselves for a lot of 12 flags flying, and brace yourselves to see the Patriots win the Super Bowl because it's happening, Kayla. You don't have to say it. You don't have to jinx it. I know it's your team.
I'm not going to say
I'll do it for you. It's over. It's done. But what a fun game in Seattle between the Seahawks and the Rams. A lot of people are calling it the best game of the playoffs so far.
Yeah, I think it is. I think anytime you get those two together, the rivalry, even when you're playing, a Seattle Niners game, not the one that we had just seen, but usually when you get these teams in some sort of a combo together, you're going to see a pretty good game. And we knew that there might be the storyline of the Seattle defense and versus the offense of the Rams. I didn't quite expect the storyline of another shootout coming from the last game that I believe the Seattle Seahawks won by 1 point. Mm-hmm. But this is what we saw last night, which I think was a good opposite reaction to what you saw earlier with Denver and the Patriots. And I know that some people are interested in my Sam Darnold take.
Yeah.
And
I am
a very, what I say is what I say. And I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff, but I am the first person who will always be like, hey, props when props are due. I'm not going to sit here and try to argue, Sam Darnold, I just didn't see enough out of him. No, that'd be stupid of me to say. So I want to start with that, with Seattle and the offense that I thought did a great job, considering the fact that I think the defense played maybe one of their, not worst games, but I felt like the defense let them down in several situations.
Interesting.
Yeah, and mind you, not much of a pass rush either from the Seahawks yesterday because I believe Stafford was sacked once, not many pressures, around 7 or 8. But I thought Sam Darnold took it into his own hands at some points. I thought he made some really good throws. He was sacked 3 times. There were some moments where I was like, oh gosh, because there was quite a loss of yards on a couple of those. But I feel like he got back up, kind of shook things off, and when the plays needed to be made, he made those plays. He had a great line. I mean, 25 of 36, 346 yards, 3 tutties. But the biggest thing, no interceptions. The man took care of the ball, and usually in past situations where the pressure is on him or just playing the Rams in general, he collapses. He didn't in this game.
Look, I don't think you have anything to apologize about because one of the massive narratives around the NFL and a massive narrative inside of the Seahawks organization, as much as everybody's going to have Sam's back, we believe in him, we trust in him. And of course, they're all celebrating his accomplishments today and talking their you-know-what, and that's good. They should. But the narrative around him was always, can he get it done? Right? I think a lot of people looked at that game, and I am intentionally, for radio's sake, being insulting or writing the Patriots off, but I genuinely believe that game, and it played out that way, was the Super Bowl last night. I thought that game was going to decide who was going to be the Super Bowl champion. That was going to be a bigger game for Darnold than this upcoming Super Bowl game at Levi Stadium. Now, of course, if the Seahawks somehow lose to the Patriots because Darnold throws 4 interceptions, we'll get there. But we don't have to talk about that hypothetical today. Sam stepped up. He did what he had to do in this game, and he deserves credit for that. But there was no reason for anybody to walk back the reservations that they had about him. He had to prove it on that stage, and he did. And if I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan today, not only am I celebrating that my team's going back to the Super Bowl, I'm celebrating the way that they got there, because you win against, in my mind, the MVP in Matthew Stafford. You knew that he was going to find moments. You knew that he was going to be able to make plays regardless of how good Seattle's defense was going to be. I didn't expect Seattle to shut Matt Stafford down. And the way Matt did it was the deep ball, hitting Puka Nacua, hitting Cooper Kupp. Like he picked them apart downfield versus these 5-10 yard crossing routes. But you still had your quarterback go toe-to-toe with the MVP. Matt Stafford's stats are better. His line is better. Barely. The fact that you can say that and your team was victorious, Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigbo were on the same page the entire game, so he managed to exploit that connection. You best believe the Rams were always, where is JSN at? What is he doing? Didn't matter. Darnold was able to work with him, get the run game going a little bit as well. I think Sam Darnold should absolutely be sticking his head high, and then Seahawks fans should feel really good because Sam stepped up to the challenge against the MVP, and the defense didn't look great, but they still won the game. That, to me, I would feel really, really good as a Seattle Seahawks fan.
It makes you feel better, that's for sure. And I'm not saying he's the best quarterback to live. By the way, he is the first USC quarterback to start in a Super Bowl, which is mind-blowing.
That is crazy.
I grew up in an era of really good USC quarterbacks, and there is a list of them that they grow. But USC quarterbacks do not usually do much in the NFL. Carson Palmer is probably the longest, tenured former USC quarterback that built a name for himself finding success, but he still fell short so much, whether that be in Cincinnati or in Arizona. But he was probably the most consistent USC quarterback. So to have a guy like Sam Darnold, who was a 3rd overall pick, and to have him go through what he's gone through and finally persevere now in a place like Seattle under a defensive head coach. Mind you, Kubiak is a great offensive coordinator. It's really kind of a great comeback story, and I appreciate that. And I know I give Sam Darnold a really hard time. That's who I am, though. Until you prove that to me, and again, the storyline with the USC quarterbacks, that all comes into play when I think about what Sam Darnold has been. But he did a great job, but I think the most impressive thing to me, again, was he knew he couldn't fully rely on his defense in that game. There was a part of that game when Reek Woolen had an unsportsmanlike penalty. They were barking at each other, the team, the defense, on the sideline. After that, things went, you had the Puka Nacua touchdown. Things went real quickly, downhill for Seattle. And for Sam to then know that it was probably more on his shoulder at that point and to come back and figure out a way, I thought that was really impressive because the pressure was kind of on him.
Well, it was Sam's touchdown before that Riq Woolen penalty and that drive that, to me, spoke volumes about him because, I mean, you talk about a nightmare day for Xavier Smith, the punt returner for the Rams.
Special teams again.
Yeah, special teams killed the Rams again. It's been doing that all season long. But Xavier Smith, he muffed a punt and then fell on it because he got a lucky bounce in the first half. And then I don't look, I'm not going to pretend that I would do great as a punt returner at all, especially with 220-pound athlete running full speed at me, yelling in my face when I'm supposed to just catch a football. But falling backwards, like that is something an unathletic person like myself would do, is like looking at the ball and just losing my footing and falling back. Like it was a terrible muffed punt, terrible decision by Xavier Smith there. And then so the Seahawks score right off of it. Matthew Stafford puts together a 4-play, 75-yard, beautiful drive to basically erase it. It never happened. Like, that's the MVP right there. My team just made a potentially back-breaking mistake. I'm going to erase it in a matter of 2 minutes because that's what I'm supposed to do. Puts together that drive, and it's like all this momentum that Seattle thought that they had for themselves gone. And then Darnold responds with like a 9-play, 60-something yard drive.
So nice.
To then put those 7 points back on the board. That drive for Sam Darnold is where I think the Seahawks won that game.
100%.
Granted, the defense had to get that stop on fourth and
I'll give him credit.
So they had to get the stop, but I thought Darnold won the game with that drive.
I do too, and again, you have to give Witherspoon credit for that breakup, right? On, I think it was like 4th down or whatever.
Yep.
That I do give the defense credit for, but that was more, I look at that as more, it was like an individual play because again, I just think the defense as a whole was like not great the entire game. But Sam Darnold, the whole point is like when pressure is on Sam, he doesn't perform.
Yep.
And he did perform in this situation. I kind of feel bad for Matthew Stafford in the way that he was doing what he needed to do in that game. And essentially his playmakers and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams were also doing what they needed to do as star
Kupp was
players.
really good too.
Right. But their special teams and their back end for the Rams that they absolutely have to get fixed unless they don't want to go back to the playoffs again. That ruined it for them. Yeah. That ruined it for the Rams.
And that's what speaks to the importance of, I mean, it's such a obvious statement, but I mean, it's a football team, right? It doesn't matter how good your one side of the ball is. You always there's always going to be plays where the ball is out of Matthew Stafford's hands. And that's what makes football so intriguing compared to a sport like basketball, to where if you have to run LeBron James out there for almost 48 minutes, we've seen it before, and then you just put the ball in LeBron's hands and he can do everything on both ends. He can take it into his own account. In football, it's, well, I'm the MVP quarterback, but I have to be off the field for half the game. And good teams are the ones that can make sure I don't get the ball back, can have these long extended drives. So, yeah, congratulations to the Seahawks. Congratulations to Sam Darnold for shutting a lot of people up in that game. It's what he needed to do. Yeah. And I do think they won the Super Bowl that day. I'm ready to
He's ready to stamp it,
I'm ready to stamp
baby.
it. I'm ready to write it off. You can record all of this, Kyle, create all the drops, and if I'm wrong, then you can make me look like an idiot.
I wish that was the case.
I don't have any faith in the Patriots, and I wouldn't have had any faith in the Broncos too. That AFC Championship game, regardless of the weather, went exactly the way that I thought it would go. You have two relatively inexperienced teams. The Broncos defense is really, really good, no doubt about it. They lose Bo Nix, heartbreaking way to end that very exciting win and that impressive win over the Buffalo Bills. I know the Patriots have been a great story too. Drake May's been a great story, but that game was a perfect representation of like the AFC this season is just meh. It just
I know. And it's maybe easier for you to say that. I covered Mike Vrabel for 6 seasons. Yeah. And 7 seasons. And it's really hard for me to ever underestimate Mike Vrabel.
Sure.
I have seen him do it with the Titans when he led them to the playoffs several years or a few years in a row. He takes this underdog mentality as a former player with the Patriots, creates it as a coach, and somehow galvanizes these teams that buy in. And they've done it this year being road warriors. I think they won like 9 on the road. They have never beaten the Broncos in a playoff game on the road, which is mind-blowing.
That's crazy.
This is the Patriots we're talking about. And so it scares me a little, Matt, Kyle, listeners, that the Seattle Seahawks are going to be getting the benefit of the doubt. And I think they're already like a 4.5-point favorite down in Santa Clara for the Super Bowl. But Mike Vrabel relishes these opportunities.
Yes.
And that is what freaking scares me, because I think their defense is a little underrated, because we've had so many other great defenses around the league to talk about. That's one thing that Vrabel would always do. He'd have that defense prepared for games like this. So it'll be interesting. I worry a little just because I know the Mike Vrabel coach, right?
Yeah, I understand how disrespectful I am coming off towards the Patriots.
It's fair.
And at the same time, though, if I'm Mike Vrabel, if I'm the Patriots going into Levi Stadium in a couple weeks, I'm thinking we have no pressure on our shoulders. Like, we have our own internal pressure because we expect to win every game. We have the highest of standards. That's how it should be in that building. But in reality, the Patriots can go out and take the field at Levi Stadium and play completely fearless, free football because they're not supposed to win that game. They're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And they deserve to be there. There is no way that I'm saying they lucked their way or you play who's in front of you, right? And we're going to talk about in the next segment. I know there's some 49er fan angst out there because it's like,
oh, yeah.
we had to play Patrick Mahomes twice in the Super Bowl, and the Seahawks get this squad. Like, I get that angst out there. The Patriots are still a very dangerous football team. Their defense is to be respected, and as much as we were just praising Sam Darnold and talking about how beating the Rams, in my opinion, was the Super Bowl, Sam can't just walk into there and not do any preparation, just throw up garbage that could be picked off. Like, there's absolutely a world that the Patriots win this football game. It's not like 4.5-point favorites, I think, is maybe too close. I thought it would be like like 7.5 or more. I thought it would be by at least a touchdown. Maybe that's just the Super Bowl respect that they're giving the Patriots. I don't think, like, I would never put money on the Patriots to win this game, period. But the Patriots, if the underdog mentality is what they like, if that's what Mike Vrabel's all about, man, you've got every bit of narratives or doubt or anything that you want to fuel your fire to go into this game and just play a free, fun football game. The Patriots are set up to have that story moment. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they are. You know what I love about the Super Bowl, though? First of all, I don't know if people remember the Super Bowl against the Patriots back when we had Russell Wilson playing and the Malcolm Butler pick, and it devastated. I mean, it's the worst Pete Carroll call of all time. Yeah. Okay, Pete Carroll is going to be known as one of the best college coaches and NFL coaches. It's a very hard feat to have, but it reigns in our minds. It takes over our minds that we lost the Super Bowl on that, and you didn't just give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, right? And so this is an interesting thing to have a new revival of this Super Bowl with two fairly young coaches, with total different teams, obviously, but just the thought of like, we didn't win a Super Bowl because of that one moment. So that's fun. And I also just love, I know culture is overblown a lot, but I know who Mike Vrabel is. I know how he galvanizes a locker room. I've been in it. That team believes in each other, and that's the motivation there. But that's how the Seahawks are believing it too. Sure. I've seen all of these players tweet about nobody has a team like us. Like we're all what. It's two really great cultures in football right now. Gonna battle it out to see really who has the best team. I think it's gonna be a great Super Bowl.
So I'm curious, both your guys' thoughts on Drake May and the answer that both of you have to this question. Kyle, jump in on this too. Drake in this game in Denver, 10 for 21, 86 yards, averaged 4 yards of completion, was sacked 5 times, so credit to the Denver Broncos defense. Yes, 100%. Weather played a factor, but that, again, wasn't till like midway through the third quarter. The one touchdown was a Drake May rushing touchdown. Were his struggles more about him, or do you think they were more about a combination of the Broncos defense and the weather in your mind? Like, the way Drake May played, does that give you, if you're a Patriots fan, any sort of reservation heading into this following Sunday's Super Bowl matchup?
I think real quick before you go, Kyle, I think first and foremost, Drake May knew what he had to do in that game for both reasons. I don't think he came out really particularly on point with accuracy or with anything in terms of, his throwing ability, because the Denver defense and the pass rush is, I think, one of the best, if not the best. And they certainly were going to have a plan. I mean, by the way, they gave up 10 points, the Denver defense did.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great defense.
They did their job.
But what I'll give credit to the staff, Josh McDaniels and Drake May, is they decided to pivot then. Not only because the weather changed, but that's really where the game was going. It was like, use your legs. Mm-hmm. Use your legs. We forget how athletic Drake May is. He had over 60 yards rushing, and they found a way to make it work for them. That's not what Sean Payton was able to do for a backup quarterback that everybody was saying, well, Sean Payton will make him look at least decent. Mm-hmm. They didn't take advantage of that first half. Drake May at least kind of realized, I can use my legs. This is where it's taking me. Yeah. So I kind of liked how he adapted to it and the adversity.
Yeah, Kayla kind of hit on the big point, and I was just going to say, it's to answer your question, me, Mr. Nuance, it's kind of both things. I didn't need this game to tell me that Drake May is a very good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I've seen that he's played very good football and won in a variety of different ways all season. But this game, I don't feel like was an embodiment of Drake May as a quarterback for good or for bad, just because of strong defense, weather conditions, what the game kind of necessitated too. Like at a certain, Tony Romo was talking about it on the broadcast, they were just throwing the ball away and daring them to score and punt the ball in the fourth quarter. So again, I just think that was the game plan. It doesn't tell me I didn't learn anything new about Drake May on Sunday, I guess is kind of the answer.
I'm going to dip my toe in this conversation a little bit, because this is something that we're going to really flesh out between now and Super Bowl Sunday, when talking about the quarterback battle, is like, I think a lot of people going into this weekend would have said, if it was a Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl, which we predicted is what it was going to be, and you were talking about the quarterback battle specifically, I think a lot of people would have trusted Drake May or been more interested in him over Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel differently now, or I'll say the general football audience probably feels differently because the way that Sam Darnold played. But I'm curious what you guys feel, or what you guys think going into this game, that it should not have any weather implications. If anything, it might be cold or maybe a little bit bay breezy, windy, foggy, maybe rain. Like, it's not going to be the same thing that they dealt with certainly up in Denver. But to me, like, if we want to call the quarterback battle even in that sense, I think that's fine. If the Patriots are going to win this game, though, Drake May has to be significantly better than Sam Darnold. And I don't feel great about that based off of how he played in Denver compared to how Sam Darnold stepped up against Matt Stafford.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying with that. And I do think it might be, I mean, he's going to probably have, more chances to throw the ball for sure, because the second half took that completely away. But I do feel like Drake May will have to be better. That is not a pass rush, like Denver. But Seattle's defense is probably now going to be chomping at the bit too, because they know they had a bad game. And this is a defense that's, I feel like, very relentless when they need to be. And they're probably going to look at this and say, we can't do what we did in that last game against this team. We've got to figure out a better game plan, and we've got to be better as a defensive unit. That's not going in the favor of Drake May either.
49ers fans, I feel your pain. I feel your frustration. And I don't know if Kayla feels the same way as a Seahawks fan. Hey, the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. It's tough to get there regardless of the circumstances. But yeah, the Seahawks road seems to be a little bit easier than the Niners' chances were a couple of times. We'll talk about that. Plus, of course, we're getting into Kings talk at 11 o'clock. The Kings 0-2 weekend. They're now 12-35 on the season. All that coming up on today's episode of Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
The 10th Annual Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration is Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center, inducting the class of 2026, plus honoring all of our past inductees. See Sacramento's 50 greatest athletes of all time.
This is Bill Cartwright.
This is Jerry Royster.
This is Tony the Tiger Lopez.
This is Dusty Baker, proud member of the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. Join us Thursday, February the 5th at the Golden One Center for Sacramento's best sports night of the year.
Get your tickets now at sacsportshof.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at the Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In Shape Fitness Kings Rally Towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Shotgun snap to Stafford. 9 seconds left. Stafford looks, fires. Ball is caught. Puka Nacua slides out of bounds. No! Clock keeps moving. Nacua on. We are going to the Super Bowl. Take your helmets off. Players, they're breaking the glass next door. Seahawks win, and the Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl. Can you believe it? The 4th Super Bowl appearance in franchise history.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Kayla, I know you probably feel very different about this. The football fan in me, the drama lover in me, wanted the NFL to give Puka Nacua that out of bounds just to give Stafford one more shot, because that was like around the 50, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember in my mind's eye like where that was on the field, but Stafford would have had a legitimate Hail Mary chance. Sure. Now, again, Seahawks fans are like, no, don't give him that shot. Great call, run it out. And it was a phenomenal call in real time. Like, really, really great call by the referee down there, because I thought for sure on TV, he's like, nope, he's out of bounds. And then they show the replay, and they're like, no, he nailed that call. So the right thing happened. But the drama king in me was like, come on, give him one shot.
I'm a sicko as a fan, too, because being able to cover sports my whole career, I'm so blessed to have done that and still are doing those types of things. It's like I always want to see the best game. And then I remember I'm also a fan of my own teams. Granted, I haven't covered my own teams really, but so I haven't had to worry about that. But I get too much of a professionalism about me too when these games are going on. I'm like, I just want to see the best game. Yeah. And then I'm like, what are you talking about, Kayla, you idiot? It's your team. You just want to win. Yeah, I'm like, quit being a professional for once. But no, it would have been fun. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yep.
I had enough drama for the night, but it all in all, I thought it was an incredible game, conference championship.
Can I sidetrack this show to talk about why I'm extremely frustrated with myself right now?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Reason number 447 as to why I would be a terrible athlete is this is why I'm amazed I love golf as much as I do, because mentally I am more hard on myself than anybody else, period, right? And if I make a mistake, especially when it's totally a self-inflicted mistake, it eats away at me.
Sure.
So I just ran downstairs to go to the vending machine to get a drink to boost the energy up a little bit. Yeah. I pressed the wrong button on the vending machine and got an energy drink that I don't even like.
Wait, what? I didn't see this.
The drink over there. I
Ooh,
won't say.
You got my
I don't say the
energy
brand.
drink.
Don't say the brand because I don't want to piss them off. I don't like that brand.
Oh, those are down there?
Yeah, they're downstairs at the vending machine.
Well, guess where Kayla's going.
Completely self-inflicted
That is really
error.
funny.
And anyone who knows buying individual energy drinks, these suckers aren't cheap.
No,
and they're not good for you either, by the
No,
way.
they're
Like
not.
I used to stand firmly against energy drinks, and then my wife got me addicted to Dutch Bros, and now
you're done.
now I'm cooked. But totally
This is
self-inflicted.
so funny.
My idiotic brain is, I'm looking at a number. The number's 51. I hit 50 like an idiot, and I have the wrong drink.
Matt!
And I'm going to drink it out of frustration just because I spent the money on it. And in this climate, this financial climate, you can't just throw it away.
No, you have your solution. Now Kayla goes down and gets 51, and you can trade drinks.
But I already drank
He
it.
already
She
drank
doesn't
it.
want my cooties.
Yeah.
I was around a sick kid all weekend too.
no.
My poor son had a bad fever this weekend. But if I make a self-inflicted mistake, like
You're
pushing
so
the
mad.
wrong number on a vending machine, you have no idea. I am seething at myself right now.
You're not going to let it go the whole show. You're going to
Nope.
be. You're going to be like, why did I do this? Why did I pick this over this?
Every sip
on
I
accident?
take is just a reminder of my failure.
Mm-hmm. Then you just need to chug it during the break. Chug it.
Oh God, this is
we'll
horrible.
we'll show the video. We'll silence the chat or silence the the mics, but you'll just be guzzling that so that you get it done with.
See, Kayla's trying to kill me.
Out of mind, out of sight.
So my whole point of this, I feel your frustration, 49er fans. I am angry now too, because I saw a lot of the reactions, and I want to know how you feel about this from a Seattle Seahawks fan standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But Niner fans are like, yo, we make it to the Super Bowl twice. We have to get through the freaking Philadelphia Eagles. We have to beat the Rams. We have to go through to get to the Super Bowl, that comeback that they had against the Detroit Lions at Levi Stadium. We had to scratch and claw just to get there twice. We get there twice. And it's the Kansas City Chiefs, the dynasty, and Patrick Mahomes that we have to face twice. The Seattle Seahawks get there, and they get Drake May's Patriots and Mike Vrabel's Patriots. And again, no disrespect to the Patriots, but kind of disrespect to the Patriots. I don't blame Niner fans at all that are going why couldn't it be this year? And I can relate to it from an A's fan standpoint.
Yeah.
I'll get to that tangent a little bit later on. But Kayla, and then I see Seattle Seahawks fans that are responding to it, and they're like, sucks to suck. I don't know. We played the team that's in front of us. It's not our fault. We had to get there, and we beat you guys. We beat the Rams fair and square. It doesn't matter who we're facing. We still got to go and win the game.
I think it would be different if it was the Broncos with the Bo Nix, but it would be the same in my eyes if it was the Broncos with Jarrett Stidham, and somehow the defense helped them, pull out a victory.
Yeah.
I just think the quarterbacks, they do mean so much in a game, and you had just mentioned, Patrick Mahomes, and he was the big bad bully for so many teams that they just couldn't get over the Patrick Mahomes effect. I think that's died down a little bit, obviously, now. They didn't make the playoffs. Now we're going to be looking at who's the next big bad bully, in the NFL in terms of a quarterback. But this will be interesting because, like I mentioned, this is a newer Seattle team. And I'm coming from a perspective, a Seahawks fan, but also just somebody who covers the league. I really did not expect the Seahawks to be in this spot this year. I thought they'd be a good team, but it's the NFC West. It's the best division in the NFL. And so that's really hard in its own right to think, we're going to be a playoff team and at that be a team that's going to host throughout the entire playoffs. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting in that. And then with Mike Vrabel's side of things, that's a shocker too. because I thought Mike Vrabel would have an okay season, but I never in a million years in the NFC or the AFC, in that division, there's no way I thought that they were going to be coming out victorious like they have.
Well, Niner fans, and if you want to be mad at anybody, I'll tell you exactly who to be mad at. The Buffalo Bills. Be mad at the Bills
now, right?
This was their shot, and the Bills were the team that was going to give on paper. The Bills were the team that was going to give the hardest fight, hardest game, at least on
most
paper.
Entertaining
game.
Because they have the quarterback.
The Bills were the one chance the AFC had to potentially be favorites in the Super Bowl. So be mad at the Bills. Like, this was their year.
Yeah.
The red carpet was completely rolled out for them in terms of Mahomes and the Chiefs fall off.
You're right.
They're not making the playoffs. Like, this was the year for you to make that run, and you couldn't get past Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. And I don't mean to say that disrespectfully. I know how great that defense is, but Buffalo, you've got to find a way. Josh Allen, you've got to find a way. And the dude turned the ball over 4 times. So Niner fans, if you want to be mad at somebody, mad that the Seahawks are getting a great, an easy Super Bowl matchup, call up your buddies in Buffalo and cuss them out, because they're the ones that blew it for you, essentially.
And now they're just trying to find a head coach to satisfy Josh Allen. By the way, Phillip Rivers took his name out of the running for head coach.
He did them a favor.
A big favor.
So does just no one want that job?
There's so much pressure with that job.
It's like Cleveland. Are you guys seeing the names that are getting pulled out of Cleveland? Like, just voluntarily, like, we're not wanting this job.
Yeah, literally no one wants that job.
But that's just the Cleveland Browns. But, like, the pressure that comes with that Buffalo Bill is the exact same of Mike Brown taking the New York Knicks job. You're going to be handpicked by Josh Allen to get this team to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You got to get there and win it.
It's like with privilege comes pressure in that situation, because you do have the shiny diamond in Josh Allen, and we complain all the time about our quarterback's good enough in this league to help lead their team. Obviously, he can be, but it's always a narrative with him too. Like, he can be, but he's losing those, opportunities every year he gets older. But it is a privilege to have a quarterback like that, but the pressure comes with it, because if you don't win, it's like, that's their standard. They have to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I can relate to 49er fans' frustration, though, so much, because it reminds me of the Oakland A's when, for years, they could not get past Justin Verlander and the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
They could not get past him. He just kept beating them. And then they are the hottest team in baseball. They trade Yoenis Cespedes for John Lester, and I still hate John Lester to this day, because they needed an ace to combat Verlander.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. After that trade, the A's completely fell apart the second half of the season, ended up a wild card team, and then they lost to the Kansas City Royals in the wild card game. But that's not why I'm pissed, although that is also why I'm pissed. Because that year, Justin Verlander and the Tigers sucked. Verlander wasn't the same guy. So it's like, you didn't need to do it. So I relate to 49er fan frustrations. I feel you, Niner fans, a little bit, kind of, but be mad at the Bills. Don't be mad at the Seahawks. TC, I see you on hold. We'll get to you coming up next. Plus, Q&K. Kayla's got a question for myself and Kyle. She'll answer it herself. It's all coming up here on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler, Dodge Jeep and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
We got Q&K coming up. It's the one segment that Kayla took with her from Tennessee. She said, I'm taking this with me. This is mine.
Put it on my shoulders,
This
and
is
I
mine.
walked across the country.
It's one of about 30 times a show where Kayla carries the show. But every once in a while, we like to lean on our callers, and one of our most loyal callers, well, I would say frequent callers. TC, loyalty is not really a thing with TC. TC calls everybody, but he's frequent, and I appreciate that. TC, good morning, my friend. Happy Monday.
Hey, man, happy Monday. Matt George, man, what's going on? Kayla, what's up?
What's up, TC?
All right, just vibing. Hey, so I kind of want to come in. First, let's kind of get it out the way. As far as the Domas, and if there's any legs to that, right, the Domas in Toronto, I know we all talking about it. I'm cool. I know Jakob Poeltl is back, but I'm cool on taking that contract, bro, if we can get that first-round pick in this draft, their first-round pick. I think as well as moving on from veterans, I think that's the biggest thing, to hit and get another first-round pick, and we have 2 second-round picks. So I think that's on the board, bro. I'm cool with taking this bad back if we get that first-rounder. As far as Niner fans, bro, let's quit crying, y'all. Seahawks are in it. The Seahawks in the Super Bowl, bro, and it's playing Drake May. I mean, hey, we had our shot. If we want to talk about and be mad about anybody, be mad about that high-level loser in your head coach and Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, no. I knew TC was going to do it to us. He was always going to be. So Kayla, so you haven't experienced this with TC. TC, you're still there, right?
Yes, I'm here.
TC, explain to Kayla, because it's a thing here in Sacramento. TC hates Kyle Shanahan. Just does not believe in him.
And he's right to have his opinion.
TC, give Kayla like a 15 to 30 second reason as to why you don't think Kyle Shanahan's a good head coach, just so she understands.
Because everybody supports a guy like he has 10 Super Bowls, bro, and we don't even have one. But everybody wants to sweep under the rug. That's why I say a high-level loser. Because Niner fans, we love to, come up with 1,000 excuses why we did. It's injuries. We did that. No, this dude blew 2 10-point leads in the most important game of his life, bro, and we can't get over it. And every Niner fan wants to explain, Kyle has 10 rings, and he's the best coach that we ever seen in life, bro, and I just don't like that, dog, and that's a reason.
I love TC because he stands on business. Shout out TC for the call.
It's a good argument to make if you were going to make an argument for that. I do understand that. But grass is not always greener on the other side. Mike Vrabel got fired. He's obviously taking his team to the Super Bowl now. He's got to win it at some point there.
Listen.
But Titans fans are kicking themselves in the you-know-what this morning.
If you can have conviction in life like TC has conviction in Kyle Shanahan not being a good head coach and just stay with it through everything, more power to you, man. That is a TC staple.
I respect you, TC.
We love TC here on the show, but we also love this little ditty called Q&K, this segment that Kayla brought with her from her days in Tennessee radio. I hand over the reins to her. Where's she going? We don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wanted to keep it a little bit on theme today. I had a couple in my head. that I was going to go for. We just talked about the most impressive coaching, guys out there, the journeys they've been on. This is plain and simple. You've got two coaches right now. They're going to be playing in a Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel and Mike McDonald, the two Mikes. What Mike are you rolling with in terms of who's had the most impressive rise to the top?
Well, Mike McDonald 3 years ago was the defensive coordinator of Michigan, I want to say. And to go from that to Super Bowl winning coach, first of all, I think is part of why Jim Harbaugh won a championship at Michigan. We don't really talk about that enough, that the head coach of the Ravens and the Seahawks were his defensive coordinators after he almost got fired. And Vrabel, Vrabel's been around the block for a while, so I guess I would say I'm more impressed by Mike McDonald. But I'm also just more impressed with the Seahawks because I remember talking last year, I would not have had the cojones that the Seahawks had to move on from your starting quarterback who was beloved, your star wide receiver, your offensive coordinator, and a year prior, your Hall of Fame head coach. I don't know if I would have had the cojones to get rid of all of that and say, no, I, John Schneider, believe this is the best way to go. And by God, it was the right way to go, and they nailed it. So I guess Mike McDonald, because I'm just amazed the Seahawks turned it around so fast.
See, what I like about Kyle's answer there is he leans into the narratives, and that's what I'm going to do as well, but I'm going to do it in favor of Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
Because you're taking over a Patriots team that is a name synonymous with Super Bowl success. And when you say the word coach in New England, it's Bill Belichick. And you say the word quarterback in New England, it's Tom Brady. And regardless of how recent or how long it's been since that era ended, that is a shadow that's just going to loom forever. And you will always be measured based off of their level of success. And can you get back there? Can Vrabel do what Belichick did? Can Drake May do what Tom Brady did? Blah, 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 blah. And the way this season starts for Vrabel, a loss to the Raiders. And I was tweeting I was tweeting things that week like, oh my God, the Raiders finally have a quarterback. Because I'm an idiot. Like Geno Smith looked good in that game. You start the season 1-2. And then you go off on that massive win streak. You end the season like 13-1 over the final 14 weeks. I mean, the turnaround for that organization. And I know the league was weird right now. The AFC is just in a weird spot right now. But the season that Vrabel was able to put this Patriots team that everybody thought was like, oh, they're turning in the right direction to, they're in the freaking Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's an incredible turnaround in a place where pressure is high and expectations are high regardless because of their history. So I lean into that for Mike Vrabel. Regardless of his past experience, what he's been able to do this season with the Patriots and getting them there is impressive. I don't pick them to win.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be victorious. If they are, that even further cements his legacy. But we see what Bill Belichick is doing or not doing in North Carolina and how much he struggled after Tom Brady left. Vrabel comes in and put the Patriots back on the map. Anybody who did that would get my vote.
They're both great arguments. And I think when it's all said and done, these are two incredible stories when it comes to coaching. And, just watching what the Seahawks have done with Mike McDonald with the defense, that's what they wanted to do, is they wanted to really bring back kind of that Legion of Boom feel, right? And they were able to restore that with Mike McDonald. But I give Mike McDonald credit for bringing in the right people around him, because when you are a defensive-minded coach, you really have to nail the offense. You can't just win everything with the defense. And to be able to bring in Kubiak and be able to make Sam Darnold work and then obviously surround him with a lot of good things, I'll give him credit for that too, because I didn't think in year 2 it would happen with the Seahawks going back. But Vrabes, man, he took a year off. He knew that something was going to be better and the timing was going to be right. And it was. And there's a lot of pressure in New England to win. And he don't give a you-know-what about that. He just went out and did his thing. So
it's so funny that you said that, because I hadn't even considered that point to my McDonald, which is the coaches that I know are the best are the ones that are capable of being like existentially flexible, right?
Yeah.
Like why I think Sean McVay is the best coach in the league is that I've seen him win with offense. I've seen him win with defense. I've seen him win with running, passing. Like he's just existentially flexible to the team that he has. not only did McDonald surround himself with great players and great coaches, he also last year tried and failed and said, new offense, fired the entire offensive staff, get rid of the quarterback, get rid of the wide receiver, like had the flexibility to recognize that didn't work in year one, change everything instead of doubling down on your guys or the system or whatever. Completely scrapped it, tried something new, and it worked. Like, that's the sign of really great coaching, is to be flexible like that.
Kayla Anderson, I got to thank you for giving me a rooting interest with this segment, because it just dawned on me. I should be rooting hard for the Patriots to win, because if they did, then I can say the Raiders defeated the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you have not thought about that before.
Because, first off,
the little things.
That win in New England to start the season feels like 7 years ago. And,
it really does, because the season's been crazy.
You can go back to my tweets from that day.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Please read them.
We're going to find them.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to find them. Stall for time.
While he's doing that, also, I don't
great.
know if Matt saw this either, but someone was making the point that had the result of that game flipped, the Patriots would have been the 1 seed, which would have meant the Patriots would have hosted the AFC Championship game, which if you thought that snowstorm in Denver was crazy, get ready for 6 inches of snow in a pouring snowstorm in New England.
Yes.
That would have been the AFC Championship game otherwise. So
it was crazy. Did you see that split screen they took yesterday of the Broncos Stadium and then New England? It was just like a pile of snow on the field in Foxborough.
It would have been like that one time Buffalo had to postpone a playoff game because it was so snowed in.
Was that when all the fans were with their shovels in the stadium? That was incredible, by the way. I was like, what fans go out to their own stadium and help clear the bleachers in a blizzard? Oh, Buffalo Bills fans.
For $20 an hour or whatever it was.
Incredible.
That was crazy.
Matt's trying to find his pathetic tweets of when New England lost their first game of the season to the Las
search
Vegas
function
Raiders.
on X sucks. I'm trying to look up
anymore.
I'm trying to look up my and I even call it X and it just feels gross. I'm trying to look up my tweets from that Sunday, September 7th, because I was like, man, I was like, Geno Smith is here. I'm like, this classic Raider fan delusion. Like, this is the year we're actually going to be somewhat relevant. And it turns out the Chiefs were bad. So they had a chance. No, they didn't have a chance, but it felt like they had a chance.
Chiefs were catastrophically bad where everyone got hurt, and they still finished 3rd place in the division.
Hey, shout out Raiders. Okay.
Oh, we've found success?
No, I'm like, my brain is multitasking. You would be surprised to learn is not one of my strong suits. All right, September 7th. How much time do we have, Kyle?
We've got yeah.
Okay, we'll take the break. And when we come back, we will talk Sacramento Kings, and I'll read to you if I can find them, some of my tweets from September 7th when the Las Vegas Raiders started their season 1-0 to defeat Drake May and the AFC champion New England Patriots. I have that. Kings Talk coming your way. Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
The 10th Annual Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration is Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center, inducting the class of 2026, plus honoring all of our past inductees. See Sacramento's 50 greatest athletes of all time.
This is Bill Cartwright.
This is Jerry Royster.
This is Tony the Tiger Lopez.
This is Dusty Baker, proud member of the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. Join us Thursday, February the 5th at the Golden One Center for Sacramento's best sports night of the year.
Get your tickets now at SacSportsHOF.com.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to CarShield.com. That's CarShield.com today.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life, and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2026 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range. Maybe take an introductory lesson. If you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new golf courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your golf clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf, or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
A.m. to 2 p.m. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
12:51 p.m. on September 7th, 2025. At Matt George Sack on X says, Gino been throwing some darts today. Darts, all caps. It's so nice to have a real quarterback on the Raiders again.
Well, you still do at least.
Well, remember that? That was when the Raiders beat the now AFC champion New England Patriots.
I love it.
And then the season was over from that point. But don't worry, the Raiders have the number 1 overall pick. Fernando's coming. I can't wait to fire off some crazy tweets about the first time Fernando completes a pass. Hopefully he doesn't get killed by the ghost of an offensive line that the Las Vegas Raiders have. Here inside welcome back in. Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports. Matt George, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass. We have this, you can't really see it on the stream, so I apologize, but there's this wood-paneled wall that we have over here. It's got a Malik Monk jersey on it, a KHTK A's jersey with a bunch of signatures, and there's just big blank space. I think Kyle's bringing it up on the stream for us. This huge blank space. We're stealing a bit from inside the NBA where anytime any of us rattle off a hot take, we're writing it down on these sticky notes and we're putting it on that wall. So for me, there's a pink sticky note up there that has my name on it, and it has today's date, and it said congratulations to the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, because I don't think the Patriots have any chance and the AFC is going to lose. So we're going to start keeping track of how wrong our takes are, whether it's on Twitter or because I'm on freezing cold takes all the time.
Right.
Or if, or here in the studio so we can mock.
There it is.
Yep. So we'll keep track of.
So do we call those freezing cold Post-its?
I don't know, just ice posts, post-it.
Ice Post-its.
I don't know. We'll come
Ice picks.
Well, ice picks.
Okay.
Not too bad. We'll come up with something more creative when we get the smarter brains in the room, meaning when Kayla and Kyle come up with something and I don't. Ugh. That sound is a perfect representation of this weekend for the Sacramento Kings. Kyle? Ugh. Yep. Ugh is right. Ugh. The Sacramento Kings 0-2 over the weekend. Hey, Kayla Anderson, the Kings have lost 5 straight for the 4th time this season.
Yeah.
We are, 43 games in? And is it 43? Let me double check this, make sure I have this right. 47 games in, excuse me. Big difference, 4 games. The Sacramento Kings.
It's 4 losses.
Are they're 12-35. Really bad. 47 games in, 5 game losing streaks 4 different times this season. I compared that to the worst season in Sacramento's history when the Kings won 17 games in 2008 and 2009. That season, the Kings had 7 losing streaks of 5 or more. But what's interesting is at this time, that season, so late January, the Kings were in the midst of their 4th losing streak of 5 or more games. Now, that season, the longest losing streak was 9, and they had 2 different 8-game losing streaks in addition to that. This season, the longest losing streak so far for the Kings is 8, but they have had a 7-game losing streak. They're at 5 right now. They have the New York Knicks coming up tomorrow. I know they beat them in Sacramento. I don't think they're going to be able to do that again. So it's going to hit 6. It doesn't get any better for the Sacramento Kings after that. This is a very rough road trip for them, except for it ends in Washington. So maybe they have a chance to win that game. But that's Mike Brown screaming. Regardless, it's ugly for the Sacramento Kings. And the one number that we can care about more than anything, Kayla, is 5. 5 more games between now and the NBA trade deadline on February 5th. If Scott Perry hopefully doesn't make us wait that long and maybe get something done before that time.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first full season here, and I have been here full season, in the midst of it, I should say. And it's funny because I almost would love that if you could just pick a time as a team, pick one time of the year where you can just completely scratch that part of your schedule. And it's they're on this 6-game, in a way, meaningless road trip. Because when I say meaningless, when you've covered teams in the past, and hockey plays a lot of games, right? The NHL plays a lot of games. So when I've covered NHL teams in the past and they go on these road trips, guys, a lot of the times it's a galvanizing, road trip, and they bond. And sometimes these teams literally flip around their seasons because of road trips like this. This is not the case with the Sacramento Kings.
Nope.
And it's not going to be the case because half of these guys are not going to be on the team in a year or 2. And so it's almost can we just erase this part of the schedule? Because what are we really getting out of this basketball that we are seeing on a nightly basis, especially right now on the road 5 days before the trade deadline? Half of these guys are wondering, are we getting traded? I don't think everybody's really even in it.
Half of them are hoping they're traded.
And hoping they're traded. So it's just a very kind of weird type of basketball that we're watching. And I'll admit, I watched both of the NFL games live. So I taped the Kings and then rewatched it last night. And my mom, I made her sit with me because she's visiting.
Abuse.
And she was like, what are we watching?
Yeah.
What are we watching, Kayla?
It's my job, Mom.
And I said, I'm sorry, Mom. I don't get to pick the teams I cover.
I got to do it.
We've got to watch it.
Well, hopefully it'll get better for you and your mom, the viewing experience over the years that you're here in Sacramento, because it hasn't been great so far. The Cleveland Cavaliers game to start the road trip was a very entertaining game, although the storylines around that game were starters versus bench, because the start of that game was horrible. The Kings got off to a 16-2 start, meaning they were down 16-2. The only 2 shots that they had made were free throws from Russell Westbrook.
Woof.
Doug Christie, this is where I give Doug a lot of credit. Doug Christie calls timeout. We're less than 4 minutes into the game.
Yep.
And says, all 5 of you, sit your ass down. I'm going to 5 guys off the bench that are going to change this energy because you guys don't look like you care or whatever. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. You're not playing to the standard. That's what he says a lot. You're not playing to the standard. The energy is bad. You're getting embarrassed immediately. The offense is terrible. The defense is terrible. He goes to a 5-man bench lineup of Domantas Sabonis, Dylan Cardwell, Dennis Schroeder, Malik Monk, and Nick Clifford. Game turns around literally immediately. Immediately turns around. Like, the Kings go from down 16-2. Mm-hmm. They took a lead with like 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. They ended the quarter on a 33-19 run. The game was tied 35-35 at the end of the first quarter. And you know what? The first thing I thought about, because there were a couple of camera shots that shot the bench or the starters sitting on the bench when that happened. A lot of glum faces.
Sure.
Now, I'm not going to use this as a moment to be like, look how bad teammates they were. They should be cheering or anything like that. That's not what this is about. I hope for all 5 of those players, for Precious Achiuwa, Maxime Reynaud, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine, I hope that stung. I hope that felt like crap. Because for probably the 3rd or 4th time this season that I can remember off the top of my head, and it's probably more than that, the starters who are primarily veteran-led group, the starters get off to this terrible start where the bench has to bail you out, and the bench is primarily younger guys. In this case, it was a little bit weird because Domantas Sabonis was coming off the bench.
Yeah,
and
in that game.
He played fantastic against Cleveland. He played,
he played
really well. But I hope all 5 of those starters were embarrassed to hell with how that game started.
And we've had conversations before this year where, again, like you mentioned, the bench has been really good for them. And Malik Monk, a lot of times, has been a part of that.
Yeah.
Too. But I'm wondering at this point, going back to what I was just saying about the timing of everything, in the back of some of these guys' minds that are the starters I'm talking about, it's like we are just literally waiting for the day that we are getting told we're out. And I do feel like we're getting a little bit of that, like a little checked out mentality. And no one wants to see that because when it all comes down to it, you're still playing on this team.
Yeah.
You're still trying to, hopefully go by what Doug Christie is saying. And every time you're at least out on the hardwood, you're playing that type of basketball. I don't feel like we have gotten that in the last few games, especially from the starter.
Kayla, there are guys on this team, there are players on this team where it's more rare for them to be checked in than checked out. And we pick on this guy a lot, and I apologize to do it, but like Zach LaVine is at the top of that list. Zach LaVine didn't play last night because of lower back soreness. Is his back really hurt or not? I don't know, so I'm not gonna even shame on me for even speculating that and even saying this because I don't know. Players get hurt. Players get banged up. I have no idea. But Zach LaVine was part of that starting lineup in Cleveland that started poorly. Now, Zach wasn't the reason why that started poorly. But Zach is one of those guys that the entire season long, it's like more often than not, Zach is coasting versus Zach is doing what he's supposed to be doing. He would disagree with that, but our eyes, the numbers, everything tells us the same thing. Then we heard that report that came out a few weeks ago that Zach and his camp tried to facilitate a trade to Atlanta during the offseason. I don't blame Zach LaVine for not wanting to be here. I don't. Yeah. I don't blame any of these guys who don't want to be here. But it's Scott Perry's job to get them the heck up out of here. And if we're stealing a bar from Dunleavy, if you want out, but you don't have any value or you're a negative value asset like Zach LaVine is at this point, like, sorry, what do you want us to do about it?
There needs to be demand.
The Kings should have, we've talked about this a billion times. The Kings should have never traded for Zach LaVine. The Kings certainly should never have traded De'Aaron Fox for Zach LaVine. And not to keep going down that tangent, but I'm using Zach as an example because there have been far too many times this season where the veterans have not performed the way that you would expect the veterans to. And I'm not just talking about basketball-wise, hey, maybe they're not the best fit, it's just a bad compilation of talent. We've seen that a number of times. But there are far too many stretches of games or moments in games when the veterans are out there and the Kings play terrible basketball, but more specifically, they look checked out, or they don't look bought in, or they aren't playing to the standard. And that's what confuses me. More often than not, when the young guys play, we see good things. More often than not, when the veterans play, we see bad things.
Yeah, and right now, I think that is the story, because we know that these young players have a future here. At least most of them do, is what we think. And they are using this time as, this is valuable for us to keep growing as individual players, as the young players together that will hopefully be the future of this team. And so they're out there like, we have something to play for. You know, when it's like at the end of a job where you know your contract, you're not renewing your contract, either it's your decision or it's their decision, and you're like, I know I'm moving on, and you want to continue to try to like do like the team thing, like, yeah, I'm all in, but you kind of feel like you're maybe not putting in every single bit of effort you did when you first started the job.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we're getting out of these starters right now. Like, they're at the point where like, yeah, do I really want to give that 100% Doug Christie effort? Not so much, but these young guys are like, this is the beginning of my career.
Right.
I'm going to show out. I'm going to show that I'm growing. I'm going to get on the good side of Doug Christie that is going to continue to give me minutes. We're in that. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and I shared on Friday the note that I had gotten that the young players love playing for Doug Christie. And the response to that was kind of surprising to me, Kayla. A lot of people are like,
what was it?
Well, they don't know any better because that's their first coach, or what else are they going to say? They're young guys. They'll be happy to play for anyone just to be in the NBA. But I get the frustration that a lot of those takes are coming from that. But to expand upon that report a little bit, the young guys love playing for Doug Christie because he's relating to them and connecting to them. He's been giving them more opportunities. I know some fans feel like he's not, because he continues to play Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan as many minutes as he plays, but those guys, like, they're going to play. They're veterans. That's just the reality of the situation. I've been very impressed with Doug as of late, not just with the balancing of his rotations. Even going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers game, Kayla, it wasn't just that the bench came in after he benched all 5 starters because of how bad of a start they got off to. The closing lineup in that game, the Kings had a chance to win that game. Arguably should have won that game in Cleveland. The closing lineup in that game was Dennis Schroeder, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, and Dylan Cardwell. Like, I know Cardwell's the only young guy in that group, but there's only one starter in that group out there, and that's DeMar DeRozan. Yeah. Like, Doug is clearly backing up what he says if you're not going to play to the standard, I'm not going to play you regardless of the circumstance in the game. Doug cares about winning. Doug wants to win. He doesn't care about draft picks. He genuinely doesn't. I know this for a fact with him because he hates taking he wants to win every single game that he's trying to coach. But I think what we're seeing with Doug is he's finding a way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I can still try and win basketball games or put myself in the best position to win basketball games while prioritizing some of these younger guys and while going a route away from just, I got to play the veterans because they're the biggest names on my roster. We're seeing Doug branch away from that a little bit. I think he deserves credit, and the young guys really enjoy playing for him because he can relate to them and he's helping them develop. The Kings, the only bright spot from this season so far has been the development of Dylan Cardwell, the development of Maxime Reynaud, who's struggling right now.
Right.
And we haven't even talked about this yet. Nick Clifford got the start against Detroit, and Nick played really well.
And I had questioned last week, because we just had not seen a lot of Nick compared to a Dylan Cardwell or Maxime Reynaud, just because of the position logjam, right? We saw a little bit more of these two guys because Domantas Sabonis had been injured, and there had been some opportunity for these younger centers to step up. That hadn't been the case necessarily with Nick Clifford. And so I'm glad, it was almost like perfect timing for me to ask, like, have we seen enough out of Nick yet? Or what have we seen that we've liked? Or what do we need to see more of? Because then this week, I feel like we've gotten a little bit more of the Nick, experience. And especially last night with Nick starting and being able to see like him in a little bit different role where he had a little more freedom to do some things. And I loved the moment, too, where he stuck up for Keon Ellis.
Yes.
I thought I know those little things seem like stupid to talk about. Oh, he stood up for. No, it's not, because those are all part of the growing experience of being a pro, being a good teammate. And he did not back down. And I loved that because that showed a little bit more of that, like, personality that Doug and Scott Perry are looking for that kind of mirrors what Detroit is now.
Yeah. The with Nick, the biggest frustration that I had with Nick was like, what are you? Like, I didn't know what Nick Clifford was as an NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
I know one of the perks of Nick Clifford coming out of college was he's good at a lot of different things.
Versatile.
Okay, but Swiss Army knife, right? But what is the NBA skill or the NBA role that will keep him in the league for years to come? We don't even have to talk about Sacramento. If we're Nick's friend, not a Kings fan, we're Nick's friend. Nick, what can you do or what do you bring that will give you a 10-plus year career where you'll have a lot of success, you'll make a boatload of money, and your family will be set for life? Like, how do we keep you there? What do you do? And I didn't know what that was. I still don't have an answer to that question, Kayla.
Sure.
But what we saw from the Detroit game was Nick is getting more comfortable figuring things out.
Yeah.
And there's so much from that Pistons game that I really, really liked. I mean, the aggressiveness of Nick Clifford. We're going to hear from Doug Christie later on in the show because I was actually kind of surprised by some of Doug's comments after the game. He talked about Nick, and it wasn't those comments, but he talked about the physicality of the game, and he was frustrated with the physicality. I felt that the Kings, at least to start this game, tried to go toe-to-toe with the Pistons' physicality.
Which is hard to do.
Which is like a underdog fighter stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson. I feel like in the first round, they tried to throw some punches. They ate a few shots and didn't drop. But as the game went on, they were worn down by the physicality of the Pistons, and the Pistons, who are the number one seed in the freaking East, pushed them around. Like that's to be expected. But Nick, I thought, did not shy away from the physicality. He was attack-minded. I love the fact that Nick played the most minutes at 33 minutes. I love the fact that Nick took the most shots on the team at 13 shot attempts, I believe. He had a moment where he blocked a shot and then came back in transition and knocked down a deep two, no hesitation. Love to see that. I love that the Sacramento Kings, I don't know if this was the game plan going in or if it changed based off of how he was playing. The Kings seemingly were very clearly trying to get him the basketball and get him involved. And then he had a one-on-one moment where I can't remember who was guarding him, but he goes one-on-one, crossover dribble between the legs, step back, mid-range jumper, knocks it down. I'm like, yes.
What we saw in Summer League a lot.
Yes, it's like there's Nick creating. There's yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I saw that glimpse. Now I need to see it more as the season goes on, but that was one of the first few times that I've seen Nick play where it's just like, oh, there you are.
Oh, there you are.
There you are, Nick. There's your NBA player. And hopefully we see more.
I think that's a great point, and just that one moment in particular, because before I got the job here and being able to watch some of the Summer League play for the Kings, that is one reason why I fell in love with Nick Clifford. I had seen him play at Colorado State a little bit, but I loved just the confidence and the natural ability that he kind of had, and you saw that in Summer League. It was like almost effortless at times. I'm like, man, he's so smooth, And then you saw him come into a lineup where he's got all these veterans in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that he was going to get some minutes, but not enough really to build on. And I think that's the biggest thing for young players. It's not just having them in for a moment and then taking them out. That's hard to ever find a rhythm and to build on not only your play, but your confidence as a player. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think we're going to see in the second, later half of the season when Nick, I believe, will get a lot more of that consistent time.
God, I hope so.
But
Perry, you got to help Doug Christie out,
Somebody's
man.
got to move.
Doug's starting to be able to do enough to get these guys playing time. And I love, again, that Nick played 33 minutes, most of the team. I love that.
Yeah.
But it was also in a blowout loss, right?
Exactly. We saw Devin Carter, for goodness sake.
And we're going to talk about Devin Carter at noon. I have some thoughts and some feelings about Devin Carter because we'll get into it at noon. But I'm so confused as to why we can't get any glimpse of Devin Carter as a legitimate rotational opportunity just to see how terrible it is. If it's that bad, just show us it's that bad. But you brought up the incident where the game got chippy. By the way, I hope you fast forwarded through this game a lot.
I did through the commercials.
Well, you should have fast forwarded through the action too, because this game dragged out an hour longer than it needed to. The amount of whistles and the amount of dead ball, especially when this game was freaking over in the fourth quarter.
That's where it was killing me.
But Ron Holland and Keon Ellis get a little bit tangled up. By the way, Keon played. I didn't know if we would ever see him again. He did play, but it was because Zach LaVine was hurt, not because of anything Keon did. But Keon plays. He gets tangled up with Ron Holland.
Yes.
And, like, clearly they're tangled up. And, like, the Pistons' attitude, the way JB Bickerstaff, the way they want to play is like FU, like bad boy Pistons-esque, right? So that's who they are, and it's working for them. They're the number 1 seed, so I'm not going to, like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's like the same thing with the Houston Rockets, right? It's like if Dylan Brooks is on a good basketball team, you know exactly what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So how can you get mad at it? But they get tangled up, and Ron is turning and talking to somebody after they get tangled up. There's a little bit of extracurriculars, but nothing crazy. Neek comes up and kind of gently pushes Ron from behind, like, hey, get off my guy. And I think Ron thought Keon pushed him.
I think so too.
Because Ron turns and goes 2-hand shove right into Keon. Keon's like, whoa!
Yes.
And I know Pistons fans were chanting flopper. What the hell are you talking about?
He was not floppy.
He was 2-handed shoved in the chest.
That was not a flop. I redid it, and I looked over it about 5 times.
And Keon's on the ground laughing, and then Neek gets in Ron's face and kind of pushes him back a little bit. And then Bickerstaff got really mad that Neek did that.
Bickerstaff was like in it too, kind of.
Neek, again, this is who they are. This is their MO, which I admire it. Like, and can we be real for a second? That's what Doug Christie wants to be.
That is.
Doug Christie wants to be Ron Holland in that situation. Doug Christie wants to be JB Bickerstaff in that situation. We're the number 1 seed. We're beating the you-know-what out of a terrible team from the West, but we don't care.
We're still
like, Doug Christie wants to have Isaiah Stewart hanging over Russell Westbrook, taunting him while laying on top of him on the ground up 20. He doesn't. That's what the Kings want to be. The Kings want to be the villains. The Kings want to be the bad guys. So as much as we can go, oh, that's so bad by the Detroit Pistons. No, that's how you're bad. That's what you should want from your basketball team, by the way. But I love that Neek got in the middle of it. I love that Neek got the technical foul. I think there's a fine that comes with a technical foul. It's nothing crazy. I hope Doug Christie pays it for him.
I was just going to say, he probably will.
Doug will take that technical foul every day of the week from Neek Clifford.
I loved it for the fact that when you're trying to establish something as a rookie, and maybe you haven't been able to do it with your play yet, and we've got a guy like Dylan Cardwell, where we've all given him a lot of praise, and rightfully so lately, because of the way he plays, that aggressive style. He is more of the like, hey, he likes to get the fans involved, and you know, that's like his style, but it's still like in your face.
Yeah.
And I liked seeing this out of Neek, because I think Neek in a way can be that type of player. I'm not saying a bad boy that's like, you know, getting texts all the time.
He's too nice. Neek's too nice.
But I do feel like he has a little bit of that competitiveness in him. And that showed me a moment where I was like, okay, I love you to death. You're a cute, cute little player, Neek. You've got this little face that like everybody's like, oh, it's Neek. And then you got that side though. When you need it to come out, it comes out. And that's, again, hopefully what you're building towards the future, all these little pieces that will come together.
Neek is such a good dude. Like, I've really enjoyed getting to know him and chatting with him the times that I have. And he's always the guy, if you're sitting courtside during warm-ups at a game, he comes up and gives you a little fist bump or whatever.
He seems
just
like
says
a great guy.
Very nice guy. And I can't read lips, but I can read body language too. But it also, like, it just felt like it wasn't Neek going, hey, F you, man, get off my play. It was Neek like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, that was Neek's.
Like, this is my guy.
I was like, get off. Like, go away.
Exactly.
But I'm glad Neek did it. I'm glad he got the technical foul. Good job, Rook. Stick up for your guy. But we haven't talked about the play of Maxime Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell yet, because I thought the Pistons specifically were a really interesting lesson for both of them. I want to talk about why, or what I saw from that. Plus, we got a injury update on Jonathan Kuminga. Like we figured, doesn't change anything in terms of trading for him. We'll talk about that briefly. We're not going to exhaust you too much with Jonathan Kuminga talk. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your #1 source for all your Northern California sports. Sactown Sports 1140.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered Player Performance Studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered Player Performance Studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Well, the Kings are bad.
I thought they were good,
That's
Matt.
the show. Thank you. Matt George, take of the day. Put that on the wall. The Kings are bad. Perfect.
I hope that's not a freezing take for all time.
Well, it's only been 72 years.
12 and 35. Is that good? Don't think so. We're 5 games away. A week from this Thursday will be the trade deadline. We're so close.
We are very close.
We're so close.
But does that mean anything?
I would
Potentially to heart.
I'm like, look, I like Scott Perry a lot. I've had a few conversations with Scott. Big fan of Scott. Truth be told, Kayla, because we weren't working together, didn't even know each other's existence at the time. When the Kings hired Scott, because they didn't do a search, they hired him before Monty McNair was out of the building, basically.
See, I've heard little bits and pieces
Yeah,
of this.
Monty
but-
was fired basically by the fourth quarter of the Kings' embarrassing loss to the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
Or in the play-in tournament last year in Sacramento. Like, we found out Monty was fired like an hour after the game was over. And then all of a sudden we found out, like, Scott Perry's the favorite, this guy, blah, 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 blah. Like, they didn't go through a search or anything. They had been talking to Scott Perry for plenty of time before Monty was even fired.
Yep.
And at the time, we were like, then why did you allow Monty to trade De'Aaron Fox away, your franchise player? It's because Monty didn't do it. He was just doing what he was told because it was obviously ownership and Vivek Ranadive's decision to go and trade De'Aaron Fox for Zach LaVine. So when they first hired Scott Perry, I was initially like, I don't like this because I felt the Sacramento Kings didn't do a search. It had nothing to do with Scott Perry and everything to do with the Sacramento Kings. I want the Kings to just do an offseason by the book. Like, stop doing it the way you think it should be done, because everything you do the way you feel it should be done is bad. I wanted them to go through a legitimate coaching search, a legitimate general manager search, and do it right from the very beginning. So when they just hired Scott Perry without talking to anybody else, I was like, oh, God.
I get that.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
But what I loved about Scott, after talking to him, getting to know him a little bit, his experience around the league is what's different from every other general manager that the Kings have really had recently. From Vlade Divac, his first-time job. Monty McNair, his first job. Pete D'Alessandro, his first real general manager job, even if they had a ton of experience in front offices before that. I say all that to say I admire Scott. I admire his career. And I'm not going to pretend like the landscape is easy for trades right now. But if we, on February 6th, are doing our show and this roster is pretty much the exact same, with the exception maybe Keon Ellis is gone, Scott's going to get lit up a bit. Because he had, I know.
It's part of the job.
I know it takes two to tango. I know all of this, but you're judged on what you can or can't do and what deals you can or can't close. I'm not expecting you to fix the Sacramento Kings on the trade deadline. Bare minimum is get this rebuild started and help Doug Christie out by getting at least one of these veterans out of here that's just eating playing time and is in your way.
I think the latest report that we saw from Brett Siegel and Kyle had given us in that group text, and I was reading it during the break, and I know you had read it, was that it's the same story we've been kind of giving you the past few weeks, is Keon Ellis is the one that is expected to be traded by the deadline. And we've kind of known that, right? And then the other little note was that, possibly Malik Monk. We've also kind of known that. It's unlikely that DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are going to be moved.
Yep.
But those are the moves, in my opinion, that are going to start this whole thing going forward, that are going to allow things to start to look different or, us to have different conversations. I don't necessarily think that is going to be the case if it's Keon Ellis or Keon Ellis and Malik Monk. I get it. You get a little bit of that log jam unjammed, but we're still having the conversations about the heavy rocks that are sitting in the middle of the roster here.
Yeah, if Keon and Malik are the two guys that's traded per se, because they're the two guys that are eternally connected. Because if one plays, the other doesn't. It seems like at this point, unless there's an injury to like Zach LaVine had against the Pistons,
or that one time that they sat Zach LaVine the second half against the Bulls,
which maybe we can see Doug Christie do more of in the second half. But
Rockets.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if Doug's going to be able to do that consistently enough. Like, the not being able to trade Zach LaVine doesn't surprise me at all because his contract is so bad. And he's just a negative value asset. That's just the reality of Zach LaVine. He's an extremely talented scorer, negative value asset. The DeMar DeRozan market, him not having a market, is just very confusing.
I don't get it.
Because I think he's a very efficient player, a good veteran that at the very least would be good off of the bench on a contender. Like, I'm watching the Kings play the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm going, you could use a DeMar DeRozan off the bench for 20 minutes a night. I know he would change in theory the way you play a little bit because he's more of a ball stopper, if anything else. But this season, DeMar is showing that he can be efficient without having to take a boatload of shots and have the ball in his hands all the time. And I understand the defensive concerns as well, but you have like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley on that team. Like, defensively, you're going to be able to withstand whatever breakdowns DeMar DeRozan may have on the perimeter. And if he's that bad down the stretch of a game, well, guess what? He's not playing. He's on the bench. So, like, I think DeMar DeRozan should have a market, and hopefully something comes of it. But not moving DeMar would be a little disappointing, I think, for not just the Kings. I think Scott Perry, as much as he likes DeMar DeRozan, don't get me wrong, I think Scott Perry will be disappointed he wasn't able to find, one, DeMar a better home, and two, wasn't able to clear up that spot in the rotation and get something back for DeMar.
Yeah, that's the one that I think I'll be the most surprised with. We've talked about Domantas Sabonis, and he's still got a big contract. His fit isn't everywhere. He's probably not likely to go anywhere, although he's been linked to certain teams like the Raptors. Zach LaVine, you laid it out pretty much how it is, and that's really how it's always been. It's the money side of things. But DeMar DeRozan, I just love who he is as a player because he's just so freaking consistent. He's such a pro. He's so freaking durable in a time that we just talk about injury after injury after injury, and this guy's on the bench, and this guy's on the bench. It is beginning to be the prime time for some of these contenders where they're going to need to have some depth on the bench. And to have a guy as, reliable as DeMar DeRozan, not only in the physical part, but just on the court, and a presence around a team, unless I'm missing something here, does not make sense to me. There's not one of these teams out there that's like, okay, yeah, let's do this deal.
And what did we learn from the NBA Finals last year? The depth of the Indiana Pacers and the depth of the Oklahoma City Thunder, that's the reason why both those teams got there, and it's the reason why OKC won. And it's the reason
100%.
why the Pacers were able to put up such a fight was because of their depth. Depth is extremely important, especially depth that you know is going to be there and be available for you. And that's been DeMar's entire career. God bless him. He's been unbelievably available. He's like Harrison Barnes. They take such good care of themselves and their body, and they've avoided catastrophic injuries. Knock on all the wood around me because we don't want anything to happen to them. Like, that, to me, is valuable. And I'm not saying, okay, give up a first-round pick for DeMar DeRozan. I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not thinking the Cleveland Cavaliers have to give the Sacramento Kings Darius Garland or an exciting young piece in order to get... No. Like, if the Kings can turn DeMar into anything that makes sense going forward, regardless of what type of player that is, then do it. Mm-hmm. And I would think DeMar would be someone who is reasonably movable, but I guess going back to the offseason with Malik Monk as well, either we have a very bad finger on the pulse of their value.
They don't want to touch a Kings player either.
I don't blame teams for that.
Don't you dare. Don't take a Kings player.
Nope. If he's wearing purple, he's got the plague. Don't touch him.
Unless he's literally the best value contract in the league in Keon Ellis.
Yeah, or except Keon. Keon's pure.
Yeah, we'll do that.
He has not been tainted by the Kings.
Well, Matt, I think it's kind of the reverse of what you're saying too, which is, or your point, but in the opposite, is the need for depth and the need for all these pieces is the reason why DeMar DeRozan is not getting traded, because these teams can't afford to have that off the bench scorer guy who, if it doesn't work out, you can't afford to have that be your fourth highest paid player. And if he went to the Cavs, he'd be, I think, their fifth highest paid player.
See, I understand that completely, except for the fact that it is essential. Like, I get that argument if it was like a Malik Monk. I would understand that. Malik Monk's the fourth highest paid player on the Kings. I don't think Malik's contract is that bad. It just feels really, really bad, one, because of the apron system, and two, because you have two guys that by themselves are almost making $100 million. So that makes it worse. That's why he's the fourth highest paid player on the team, because you've got those two massive contracts that you're not able to move. In the case of the Cleveland Cavaliers with DeMar DeRozan, he's on the hook for $10 million guaranteed next year. You take a flyer. If you get eliminated from the playoffs and he's a bad fit, you pay out that $10 million and you just move on and let him decide where he wants to go. And again, I'm not saying give up a valuable commodity for that. If it's a second round pick, then it's a second round pick. It's more valuable for the Kings to get some sort of asset back and get DeMar out of here.
Get one of these
and free up the spot in the rotation for Nick Clifford to play 33 minutes a night. That's more valuable to this team at this point.
It's the whole thing we've been talking about. The one thing I think, I'm not going to speak for all the fans, but a lot of the feedback that we get on this show is just like, move one of these bigger pieces. And I know he's not the biggest piece, but it is a piece that is bigger, that is taking up minutes. And if you don't do that, I think we're still having the same conversations.
Yeah. It's just a rough spot to be in. Well, we're going to have the same conversations about Jonathan Kuminga as well.
Oh, yeah, JK.
Kayla, drink. We're bringing up Jonathan Kuminga on the show. Drink. Hopefully it's water. It's 11:39. Everybody calm down. We're just going to talk about him briefly, and essentially it's kind of a copy and paste or a continuation of what we talked about on Friday. Kuminga hurt himself during his game against the Dallas Mavericks. He was playing really, really well, played about 9.5, almost 10 minutes in that game, twisted his ankle and hyperextended his knee, I believe, and the Warriors didn't feel like it was that serious. Mm-hmm. They had an MRI done. It was revealed that he has a bone bruise. He's out indefinitely.
Which, by the way, are awful.
Yeah, bone bruises suck, by the way.
Bad.
Bone bruises suck. Yeah. So I'm not pretending like, oh, he's not hurt at all. Like, a bone bruise sucks. So he's going to be reevaluated in a couple days. He's not going to play for a few days. Unless it was a serious, like, torn ACL, torn meniscus, torn Achilles, it wouldn't change. I don't think it should change the Kings' mind at all. No. Like, if he's out for 3 weeks, okay, fine, he's out for 3 weeks. Like, if you still can close a deal, you can close the deal. But one of the things I wanted to do, we'll do it real quick. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of the Warriors. And the question that I want us to try and figure out or ask, because I think I kind of understand why the Warriors won't trade Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah. There is no replacement for Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. There is none. Jonathan Kuminga is, one, a body at his position, and two, regardless of how Steve Kerr feels about him, and regardless of how happy he is with the circumstance, we know Kuminga's been a pro. He hasn't been an a-hole about it. He has not been disruptive in any kind of way. He's going to continue to be a pro. Kuminga is familiar with the system. He spent his entire career there. You're looking for a Band-Aid to get you through the rest of this season. It's probably in the best interest of the Golden State Warriors to just bygones be bygones. Dude, you're going to be on this team for the rest of the season. Help us make another playoff push. We'll revisit this during the summer. If that's the Warriors' route, I understand it.
They've already done it up to this point. It's been icky and it's been nasty, and the media has had plenty of talk about. But if they've been able to hold it together up until this point, as long as the teammates are good with Kuminga, in my opinion, they can make it work. Mm-hmm. And then eventually it's not going to be a situation that you're going to be able to make it work at the long term. But for right now, to have that body there, absolutely.
Now, Kuminga doesn't want to be there.
Well,
Kuminga's
no.
like, get me the hell out of here. I don't care.
Right, but it's not really his full decision.
But the only way, and this is maybe where if there's a devil on Kuminga's shoulder, it's, all right, this is where you now have to raise some stink. Like, this is where you have to let it be known. If you really want to be traded, you have to be let it be known in Golden State that if you keep me around at the trade deadline, I'm going to, my back's going to hurt a lot. My knee's going to start hurting a lot.
A lot of bruises.
This bone bruise, man, it's just lingering. It won't go away.
Yeah.
Like, if that, because what's most important to the Golden State Warriors is winning basketball games. They're in the 8th seed right now. They're a game and a half back of 6th, which is avoiding the play-in altogether. So they're right in the mix. They're 2.5 back of 5th. They can go on a run, figure some things out, and they're in the playoff picture, period. They're 4 games ahead of the Clippers in 10th, so they're pretty firmly a play-in team. Like, they're going for it. They need to go for it. And Kuminga gives them probably the best option, unless Kuminga goes, I ain't cooperating. But he hasn't shown any reason to believe he's going to do that at this point.
Not yet, but if he listens to all the people in the media, those analysts, they're like, God, play a little hardball here.
Hey, well,
get a little mean.
Get a little stanky. Mm-hmm. Get a little mean about it, Kuminga, if you really want to change some things. We didn't get to the conversation about the Kings bigs. I really want to talk about this. Maxime Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell, I thought their games against the Pistons, really good learning experience for them, and I'll explain why, especially when it comes to Dylan Cardwell. I think Dylan hopefully left Detroit feeling very encouraged about his future. We'll explain that still to come later on in the segment. We'll do that during the 12 o'clock hour. But right now, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we're debuting a new segment called Pick a Side. Kyle's going to throw some topics at us. Kayla, you and I, we might agree, we might disagree. There will be blood right here on Sactown Sports.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For your big game party, you better pop in to Total Wine and More for a guaranteed win. We've got thousands of bottles down every aisle, and prices so low they're gonna make you smile. Ask our helpful guides for a recommendation to add some wine and beer to your beverage station. Discover something new and let the fun begin. Come on down to Total Wine and More for a guaranteed win.
Drink responsibly, B21.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Join Sactown Sports downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
All right, here's the deal. Kayla Anderson has been wonderful to work with over these first few weeks. We need some animosity up in here.
Oh, be careful what you wish for.
We need some animosity. Kayla told me about this secret button that if you press it, she becomes a monster. She becomes something she's not proud of. I want to press that button. I just don't know about it yet.
Ask the people that are closest to me.
We'll get there. You broke your hand punching a friend of yours.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to get punched.
I might look innocent and sweet.
Nope. It's got that venom.
Not if you test me.
Well, I don't think we'll get that crazy, but the segment that we're about to debut, and it hopefully becomes a daily thing. We'll see if you like it. We'll see if we like it. We're calling it Pick a Side, where essentially Kyle's going to throw out a number of topics. He essentially is going to put a take out there or a topic out there, and we might disagree or we might agree on it, and then we just talk about it. Cool. But if we disagree, we'll kind of dive into why, and Kyle's also going to get involved in this. It's called Pick a Side. Kyle, why don't you get us started off with our first handful of topics?
Okay, well, the first topic that was specifically chosen by you guys is based on something I said.
Yep.
All NFL playoff games should be either in a dome or a warm weather city. Pick a side.
This is a Kyle Ledbetter talking point or take that he threw in the group chat while we were watching that Denver Broncos.
And we were arguing back and forth.
Yes, we chatted about it in the group chat a little bit. Kayla, you want to go first? You want to go second? Where are you at with this?
I'll go. Because, Kyle, and I said it in the chat. I said, wait, I like this. I like the fact that we in sports right now still have something that is organic. If you know, and you heard me on the show, I'm an organic person. Sometimes I just like things to come to me naturally.
Sure.
And I like the fact that weather played a part. Like, why are we crying about the fact that snow came in the second half? Sean Payton still could have had some sort of a better game plan in the first half. He should have kicked the field goal. He shouldn't have went for it for fourth down, knowing that the snow was coming. I love the fact that the atmosphere played in to the conference championship. I said, do not put it in a dome. Do not put it in a dome.
We have enough indoor stadiums that just completely negate the elements and what makes football such a unique, interesting winter sport, right? I understand where Kyle's coming from in the sense that sometimes you want the only factor to be the skill level of one team versus the skill level of another. But when we're talking about the best players on the planet, for kickers, we're talking about the best kickers on the planet. I want to see how they handle the elements and curveball and the uncontrollable. You can't control everything in your football environment. So when an uncontrollable aspect like weather plays a part, you have to adapt. And I like that. I personally am intrigued by that. If you were to put them in Los Angeles and sunny on a turf field that's immaculate every single game, it's like, it's copy and paste. Like, why do the best players in the world have to have the best conditions in order to be happy? They don't.
They don't.
And I personally am against the idea of moving to indoor stadiums only or warm weather stadiums or anything like that. I'm glad the Buffalo Bills, their new stadium, at least is open a little bit. It's not going to be the same because they've built it to where the wind won't be as much of a factor, but snow will still fall in on the field. It's still outside at least a little bit. I'm all for the weather. I'm all for how that impacts games. And look, if we're talking about specifically that Broncos-Patriots game, it was 7-7 when the weather started, and there were 3 missed field goals before the snow even started blowing. So, like, that wasn't the reason. If it was a full game in the snow and it was that result, I guess I understand the argument a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, you guys know that I'm completely off on this because you talk about this uncontrollable factor to football and the elements when we literally can control it. All you have to do is literally put a dome on a stadium and you've controlled this factor. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Boring.
But it also, well, it maybe it's a little bit boring, but I don't care about the snow games when it's week 17 of the regular season.
Sure.
When it is your representative sample of an entire season for $100 billion industry, it is insane that you had that terrible disgrace of a football game that was played on Sunday that was not a representation of the better teams. The punts were 20 yards long. You couldn't see what down marker you were at. No points were scored. Field goals were missed. It was not a representation of the football season. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that that had to happen to decide your champion of the AFC. It's not like this is just a regular season we're fighting for playoff positioning. This is the champion of the entire sport. The Broncos might never get back to that point, and they had to do it in a pouring blizzard where no points were scored and everyone was just missing field goals.
So your take is every single cold weather team should have a dome stadium. It should be...
Yes.
Nope.
Buffalo, I cannot believe Buffalo spent that much money on a stadium and didn't put a dome on it.
Away the nuance. We got to get to more of these, though.
But that's part of Buffalo's charm, though. They're freezing cold. They drink a lot of alcohol and dive through a table.
And guess what? Their teams over the years, predicated on passing attacks and high-scoring offense, get neutered in the playoffs when they play at their stadium that they've created. This is the same thing with the Packers. The Packers would have won 7 championships if they had put a dome on Lambeau in 1989, because you would have had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers throwing all over the place.
Everything in our...
Brett Favre has to play in 70 degrees.
Some things are out of our control, and that's okay.
But Josh Allen can't have
okay.
wind. No AC.
Can't control it.
Don't turn the AC on in the dome. You can't have wind.
All right, what's our next question?
All right, our next question for Pick a Side. The NFL Pro Bowl team was just announced. Apparently, Shedeur Sanders is now an alternate for the Pro Bowl. So,
Matt, this is what we've come to.
We're proposing we keep the NFL Pro Bowl and All-Star awards, but get rid of the games.
Yeah, the NFL Pro Bowl, the NBA All-Star games themselves, useless. Completely useless. The awards are good. It's recognition. I think there's probably salary bonuses and incentives in the contracts to hitting these bonuses. All that is important. These players deserve recognition for being the best players at their position or on their respective teams with the season that they're having. So the awards themselves, great. The recognition, wonderful. I almost guarantee you every single one of these players, NBA and NFL, would rather just have the week or weekend off or be on a beach somewhere and not having to worry about this meaningless ceremony of a game that's really just to appease suits. The one thing that I experienced when going to NBA All-Star Weekend in Salt Lake City, Utah, was that the only fans there are sitting in the nosebleeds, and there's not really anything to cheer for anyway. Everybody else, it's all business people, partners of the NBA that are there, that are on their phones or in their suite or whining and dining and have gone by the third quarter because they don't care. The weekend is an entire, it's just, for the NBA, it's a joke, with the exception of like the three-point contest and the dunk contest when Mac McClung is doing something cool. But even those have been watered down compared to the past. So, and the NFL, like, I don't care about a flag football game. I don't care about your quarterback skill throwing competition or dodgeball or all that. Let these players go, give them the recognition and move on.
I think the best all-star game, and still has some meaning to it, except for they took away the home field advantage, is the MLB All-Star game. I still feel like I get excited for the home run derby. Yep. The game is okay. I still think that has the most meaning. I think if we're getting to the point where we're having an NFL flag football game and Shedeur Sanders is invited to the Pro Bowl, that is ridiculous. I say give the All-Pros give all those awards, you've got to start to get rid of these meaningless games that is just becoming an absolute joke in almost every professional.
Well, the only reason they still exist is for television dollars.
Exactly.
Like, as long as the media partners are willing to pay. But I think it's different based on the sport, right? Because the entire construct of an all-star game was to introduce people to these players that you didn't used to be able to see or know. It's like, it was your only time you could see American League players play the National League in baseball all these years ago. So, like, for hockey, I think it has purpose. For soccer, I think it has purpose. For basketball and football specifically, it's like, all the players, their names. You don't have to fake it to try and get by with a made-for-TV event.
Well,
next time we got to go quicker because we got to get into
I was
going to
say, we just fought Kyle on the indoor-outdoor stadium,
right?
so we missed a couple of them. We'll try this again tomorrow, and at some point, Kayla and I will find something we disagree with about, because we're just too good of partners.
Well, yeah, our birthdays are within a day
That's
of each
true.
other.
We found out May 23rd. Kayla's May 24th, so get ready for the Matt and Kayla entire birthday week.
Yes.
Although we found out it's on a Saturday and Sunday, which is a bummer. I mean, it's the one time I'm not happy that my birthday's on a weekend. But when we come back, it's the lunch break segment. You know how it works. It is your segment to call in 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. We'll get back into some Sacramento Kings talk. I've got thoughts about Devin Carter. I don't know why he's not playing, why he can't get a single opportunity, especially when the Kings are this bad. We'll dive into that and more coming up next.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sniffles and sneezes got you down? GoodRx is here to help with big savings on commonly prescribed cold and flu meds. GoodRx is free and easy to use. GoodRx is accepted at all major pharmacies like CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens. Just search your prescription, find a coupon, then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sepp Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sepp Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ting's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler, Dodge Jeep and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITPFest.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is where we're at with the state of this Sacramento Kings season. Hi, I'm Matt George, Kayla Anderson with me, and Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass. I'm angry about Devin Carter not playing. That's where we're at with this season. I know.
Help me.
I know. And it's sad, but Devin Carter got some playing time at the end of the Kings' loss to the Detroit Pistons, and he played like almost 7 minutes, something like that. Like, I think he had like 2 points, both at the free throw line, like took one shot maybe. It was whatever. And I understand that I don't like Devin Carter, the player, is not the most exciting player, and we'll dive into like some of the things that we've heard about Devin Carter like off the court. But I was really frustrated with Devin, and it was part of a kind of a bigger issue with the Sacramento Kings. Kayla, the Kings have, including Devin Carter, they have 4 players that are taking up roster spots that are literally just there to collect a paycheck.
Sarge is there, right?
Dario Saric is the biggest example of he's just there getting paid $5 million to sit on comfy seats on the bench and be a body in practice to go up against. Like, the Jonas Valanciunas, Dario Saric trade during the summer never made any sense to begin with, except for the fact that, one, Perry wasn't sure if Valanciunas was even going to be here this season because Valanciunas tried to go back to Europe. And number 2, you wanted to save some money because Valanciunas is also getting paid $10 million next year. But we also heard, hey, you're bringing Saric in because a $5 million contract. You can add that on top of a trade and sweeten the deal, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's not happening. Nobody in their right mind wants Dario Saric. He's just, no disrespect to Dario, he's just a waste of space on this roster. And you have Doug McDermott, who plays every once in a while and is exciting because he just chucks up a lot of threes and his hair is perfect. Like, so it's like, okay, great.
He
Doug
does
McDermott.
have good hair.
He's just wonderful. He looks like a soccer player with his hair, and it's never disrupted. He could get fouled, punched in the face, and his hair is immaculate.
I need whatever he's using on his hair.
I need a lot of help with my hair. But Doug McDermott just sits there and basically doesn't play. Yeah. Drew Eubanks, to be fair, played to start the season, but with the Kings youth movement and the emergence of Maxime Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell, I'm glad that Drew Eubanks isn't playing. So there's a third, and now you have Devin Carter that's a fourth. But you've got 4 players on this roster that can't get any sort of consistent playing time. But the difference between Devin Carter and the other 3, Devin Carter was your lottery pick last season. I know that Carter was not Scott Perry's pick and had nothing to do with Scott Perry. That's why I see, like, why is Nick Clifford getting opportunity when Devin Carter isn't? Well, one, Neek is more of a wing to forward, not he's a guard forward. He's a bigger guard, not Devin Carter, who's 6'2".
Smaller guard.
But, like, Neek is this front office's pick. They traded up in the draft to be able to bring him in, so they're always going to prioritize him. That being said, Kayla, are we so sure that Devin Carter is so horrible at basketball that he can't get a single look on a team that is, 21 games under 500? Is that how bad it is, or is it better than that? Well,
you said they had won, 12?
I'm doing quick math in my 23 games under 500. The Kings are 23 games under 500 with a primarily veteran-heavy group. And Devin Carter can't get 1 or 2 looks in a normal rotation just to see. And maybe those 2 games are a disaster. Maybe he gets in with 6 minutes left in the first quarter and is yanked with 3 minutes left because he's completely lost and he's an absolute disaster. But show us! Like, why can't the guy get a single opportunity he was a lottery pick last year, for God's sake. Even if he's not your pick, just show us. Give us something to look at.
it's weird to me and not being able to see Devin at all last year. And I know it wasn't like he was playing in a ton of games. I think overall he played in 34 games the season, right? This year he's barely played, but it does not surprise me, Matt, Kyle, listeners, because we have already had so many conversations about the logjam that is the guards, whether you fit the defensive mindset of Doug Perry. There I go
Doug
again.
Perry.
I am now combining Doug and Scott Perry to make them one.
Well, they say they're all unified in vision, so might as well.
But Doug Christie to fit that, defensive mindset, whether it be, is Keon a guy that can be a Doug guy, or is that a guy that's not, Scott Perry's guy, which we've heard Scott Perry does like. Like, it's so much stuff in terms of whenever there is a conversation, though, about the logjam, it's always about the guards. And so it does not surprise me because Devin Carter is a guard and a small guard at that, which we have heard, from some situations that maybe that's not the ideal type of player that Scott Perry likes.
Hey, in fairness, standing next to him at the airport, he's about 6'3.5".
Okay, so there we go.
Sure.
6'3.5". My brother's taller than him. But I'm
taller than him.
You're taller than. What are you?
I'm 6'4".
Kyle, what are you?
I'm 6'2" on a good day.
Okay, I know you both are tall, so
Doesn't matter. It's all wasted. Well, at least for me, not for you, Kyle.
Well, maybe you'd get more minutes than Devin Carter.
I don't think so.
My point being, though,
I can hoop a little bit.
You can. I get it. I get that you're like, why can't we see just a little bit of him? And maybe we will if there are some things that happen with the trade deadline. Again, maybe that's another body that gets more playing time. But I just feel like if we were going to ask this question, it's probably been asked, I can't remember, it is going to be we have a lot of people at that position, and we just don't have the minutes to go around right now. It's just that's where we're at. And if we know that he's probably not going to be on this team moving forward because he's not Scott Perry's guy, it's like, I guess why play him above some of these other guys?
Yeah, but that logjam, I get it, but it's not an excuse for a team 23 games under 500.
Yeah.
Look, I know Russell Westbrook is a way better player than Devin Carter. I know Dennis Schroeder is a way better player than Devin Carter. I get it. I'm not asking for Devin Carter to play over them now every game. I'm saying give 2 games where, hey, Dennis, hey, Russ, tonight you're going to just take a seat tonight. You're not going to play tonight. Because we need to take a look. And I would argue we need to see it now before the trade deadline, not after the trade deadline. Because the only value in playing Devin Carter at this point is to potentially raise his value in a way that you can maybe use him as a sweetener on top of a deal. As of right now, the entire league looks at Devin Carter as a complete bust, wasted pick that the Sacramento Kings should have never made to begin with. So why in the world would they take on the contract that he has?
Case.
And it might be, but we don't know.
I know.
And if I'm Devin Carter, I'm going, you haven't given me a chance. You essentially made me a point guard during Summer League, which is not my natural position. And I tried, and I did fine, but it's not my natural position. And I know there's a logjam ahead of me, but y'all aren't giving me a single chance. And every time you send me to Stockton, I ball out. Like Devin Carter balls out in Stockton every time he goes. I don't know if he's an NBA player. I don't think he would make the Sacramento Kings any better. You're 23 games under 500. Just show us one.
How much has he been down in Stockton? Because I know that we've talked. Okay, because someone in the chat was also asking why not send him to Stockton for more work, and I think they have, like you said, here and there done that, and he's been good. But
he's made 2 appearances in Stockton this season.
Okay, so not as many as I thought, but. Would it value them at all to just put him down there more consistently?
If he wants to get actual playing time and play and get reps, then yes. But Devin Carter, when he plays in Stockton, he plays really, really well. He typically dominates. He puts up numbers that you would expect an NBA player to put up against G League competition. To be fair, he also goes down there and has the green light. He can do whatever he wants because he's kind of supposed to. That's a showcase opportunity for him. So yeah, you can send him down to Stockton if you want. And here's a part of the conversation that needs to be acknowledged, because we've heard rumors and rumblings about Carter hasn't necessarily been the greatest guy to work with. at all times. And I'm not assassinating his character or anything like that. We've just heard rumors and rumblings that sometimes the attitude has been there.
From the jump?
Frustrations from the get-go with being drafted to a team that didn't need a player at his position to the shoulder surgery, and he never really got a fair shake coming back because the coach that was there when it started was gone by the time he actually got playing time. So I understand every bit of Devin Carter and his camp feeling like, I never got a fair shake here. I never got a true opportunity. And I can imagine that will impact your attitude from time to time. We've also heard about maybe like the eating habits weren't always great. The diet that he had wasn't always great. Showing up in shape wasn't necessarily the greatest as well. So we've heard these little things. But none of these are so extreme unless it's to a level that hasn't gotten out yet. Unless he is completely toxic in that locker room, which we've got no indication that any soul is toxic in that locker room, period, for the Sacramento Kings. So we shouldn't even speculate that. Unless things are so bad with Devin Carter on and off the floor, or unless he's just refusing to do anything the Kings ask him to do, nothing that I just said is worthy of not giving him a single look just to see. If this team was 500, competing for a playoff spot, in the play-in hunt, okay, sure. You're in the cellar of the Western Conference. This season is lost. I'm asking for a game, and not for him to start.
How many minutes?
15 minutes off the bench, but coming in with 4 minutes left in the first quarter to play with Malik Monk and to play, not coming in at the end of a blowout with a primarily young lineup against a Detroit Pistons team that for some reason was still playing Cade Cunningham.
I know.
They're like, who cares? Beat him up.
Yeah. There we go, Cade.
Yeah, Cade, get yours. And to be fair, Cade has been struggling recently. He's been battling some injuries. He looked great,
he looked really
by
good.
the way, for Detroit. But I'm asking for a game. Russ, take a night off. Schroeder, fight Luka Doncic again so we have the opportunity. Like just one game to see what it looks like.
I don't think you're asking for too much, okay? I look, Doug is so set in his ways. But every time I feel like we do have a conversation about roster stuff, like the next game, there's like this conversation. I'm not saying Doug's or any.
Doug listens to us.
I'm not saying that, but it is kind of weird. Like every time we're having this conversation, and then like the next game, I'll see, so and so's gotten back in or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so maybe if you're listening, Doug, can you please just let us see Devin Carter for like 17 minutes? In all seriousness, I don't think it's asking too much at this point. Honestly, even on this road trip where things are kind of wonky anyway, and it's like, why not right before the trade deadline, unless you are really set on we have to get these guys the last minutes of showcase, which I'm sorry, these teams know what these players are at this point.
And if Devin is still on the team, which I would expect him to be after the trade deadline, and he starts getting playing time in the latter part of the season, what good does that do you? Because the ship has already sailed on his future here in Sacramento. I don't think there's anything reasonable that Devin Carter could do during the second half of this season that will change the mind of Scott Perry or Doug Christie or the Sacramento Kings. Like, oh, maybe he is something. No, you got a bunch of other bodies that you got to figure out ahead of him at the guard position. Maybe if you trade Keon Ellis, that opens up the door for him to get some playing time if Malik Monk or Zach LaVine
That's
are
a
hurt.
good point.
Like, maybe.
Yeah, that's, I mean.
Okay, whoop-de-doo. Like, are you now trading him this summer for pennies? Like, maybe there's no point to playing him, period, and maybe that's the takeaway for the Kings. There's just no point to playing him because he has no value.
Here?
Then
then go to Stockton.
Yeah, just send him to Stockton and I guess let him ball out down there. I don't know, but I don't think Devin Carter has done everything right necessarily. And I think there are certain elements where he has to look in the mirror and own certain aspects of why his career has gone this way. But I don't think Devin Carter has really gotten a fair shake, period, in his NBA career to this point. And look, it wasn't his fault that he had to have surgery to his shoulder, and the Sacramento Kings, who are in win-now mode, drafted him when De'Aaron Fox was still on his roster. We cannot blame Devin Carter for the stupid decision of Monty McNair. We can't do it.
Yeah.
And the subsequent decision to trade Davion Mitchell because you thought you had Devin Carter to fill a spot.
And I've had conversations with De'Aaron Fox, not to make this a De'Aaron Fox thing, but one of the things De'Aaron told me verbatim was, when they drafted Devin Carter, De'Aaron was like, I guess they really want me out of here because here they are drafting another guard. So that pick in general never, ever, ever should have happened.
It's not a good pick. It was not a good
horrible.
pick.
And add it to the list of lottery picks over the history of the Sacramento Kings that have been terrible picks. It's unfortunately par for the course for this organization. But again, that's not Devin Carter's fault. Devin got selected. He didn't choose to come to Sacramento. And I promise you, he probably didn't want to come here, and he didn't expect to come here either because he didn't have any conversations or work out with the Kings, period.
I would be contradicting myself if I said, he doesn't deserve another chance and he just needs a fresh start. Because I've said it about other players on other teams. I've said it, about I'm spacing the Lakers Tennessee draft pick, Dalton Knecht.
Yes.
So I've said it about Dalton Knecht. I don't know if he's gotten like a real fair shake.
Kings should have taken him.
Right. And there's still like conversations about that. But he was kind of like brought to the organization, then pretty much like traded away and then brought back. And like, what is he? They don't want him there really. And so I would not be fair for me to say maybe it just needs to be something where, again, Devin Carter needs to be in a new place, a new atmosphere, new environment where he can be given a fair chance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the way that things have gone here in the past, unless it's a few minutes here or there, I just don't think he's really going to get that time that I believe he should at least be given a little bit. Because what else is going on here right now? What else is happening?
Yeah.
The other interesting thing about what you just said, Matt, is that what makes the pick stink so much about the guard is that 2 picks later, I know you can do this with every pick in the draft, but
it's a long history with the Kings.
Sure.
Yeah.
2 picks later, the Miami Heat take Khalil Ware, who, while he's kind of been a mixed bag so far, and Eric Spoelstra just thinks he doesn't work hard for some reason, Khalil Ware would be the perfect guy to put next to Sabonis in the front court. If you're looking for that ideal archetype, shoots the ball, blocks shots, can dribble a little bit, like just the perfect front court pairing for Domantas Sabonis in terms of those skill sets, which is something that when you look back at the memoriam of the Beam team and how it all fell apart, is like you could have, even if you were going to move on from Harrison Barnes for DeRozan anyways, you could have just stuck Khalil Ware at the 4 and it might have made a little bit more sense.
Look, even knowing full well now that the firing of Mike Brown was not Monty McNair's decision, and the trade for Zach LaVine was not Monty McNair's decision.
But
the Devin Carter draft
exactly.
pick, that's the fireable offense.
Yes.
Like, Monty McNair 100% deserved to lose his job because not only was that draft pick horrendous, it was a pick in the midst of a long line of just self-inflicted wounds and moves that he failed to build upon the success of the initial Beam team. Monty McNair deserved to lose his job, and the last moment was, or the last straw really, was that selection of Devin Carter. Again, that's not Devin Carter's fault. And to clarify, to be completely honest with you here, I don't think that if Devin Carter got playing time, he'd suddenly become something great. And I'll tell you this honestly, we can put this on the wall if we want. I am not worried one bit about Devin Carter going to another team and going, oh, there's another lottery pick the Kings gave up too early. I don't think Devin Carter's going to be that. I just don't know because I haven't seen it enough. I'm not worried about Devin Carter and feeling about Devin Carter the same way I feel about Davion Mitchell with the Miami Heat, or Neemias Queta with the Boston Celtics, or one of the many Sacramento Kings who have left Sacramento and had successful careers and played in the playoffs. I'm not worried about that with Devin Carter. I don't know if he's an NBA player, but that's the thing. I don't know. And a team that is 23 games under 500 can't even give me a look.
But I think they know. And I think that's where maybe I do trust, the eyes of a Scott Perry. At least they know he's not. Let me rephrase that. At least they know that it is not a fit here.
Yeah.
And I have not watched Devin Carter enough in bulk to know like what type of player he is in terms of the physicality and the attitude. From what I've seen in the small bits, it ain't what Scott Perry and Doug Christie are preaching.
But in theory, it kind of should be based off of his time at Providence.
Sure, but I don't think I have seen that at all once he got to the league.
Yeah.
And maybe, again, because he's not been able to build his confidence or build any of that in the league, maybe that's why.
So then why did the Kings pick up his $5.1 million player option or club option for next year?
So, okay, who did that? Was that
Perry.
was Perry?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
So it's to trade him, right?
Absolutely.
We've talked about this before. In the NBA, because of the cost-controlled spot on the roster, you'd have to really hate a player to decline the third-year option. The fourth-year option is another question.
Yeah.
Like
$7.3 million next year, or the following year, by the way.
Which they have to decide on by training camp.
There's
next
no
year.
way they picked that up. There's no way they picked that up. But like, you picked up this third-year option knowing full well Kyle, sorry to cut you off, knowing full well that he's not going to be a part of your future. You've picked it up so you can trade him.
Yeah, like the reference point I make is like the Spurs still picked up the third-year option on Joshua Primo, which if you want to Google what happened there, you can go ahead. But it's like you'd have to really, really hate a player to decline the third-year option. And I think it was the Grizzlies GM was like, yeah, we deeply regret, or his biggest mistake was not picking up Laravia's option that led to the Kings trade.
Yep.
They still declined the fourth-year option on Laravia, who still at that point had a more glamorous NBA resume than even Devin Carter, who's getting DNPs for the Kings.
Which is also stupid that the Grizzlies can decline that option, and then when the Kings traded for Laravia, they have to deal with the repercussions of the Grizzlies declining that option. The Kings like Jake Laravia a lot, but because the Grizzlies declined the option and the Kings traded for that contract, they could only pay Jake Laravia a certain amount. The Lakers paid more. That's why he went to Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
So that's just dumb context. But you're right. Like
Yeah.
Jake Laravia, Devin Carter, not comparable, or at least we don't think so because we haven't really seen Devin Carter play.
Right.
But you're picking up. You make a good point because you still have to field a roster. You can't just leave. And when you have contracts like the Kings have at the top, so much money, and max contracts are what they are, and this league is so cost-based and the apron systems and stuff, you need to have these rookie scale contracts at the bottom that just take up a roster spot and it's a set value. I understand that completely. So what is the plan here with Devin Carter? Is the plan at $5.1 million next season that maybe you trade Keon Ellis away, he gets a little bit more opportunity in the second half of the season, and then you trade him during the summertime? Like if Devin Carter is on the roster for the Sacramento Kings going into training camp next year, it's one of the most placeholders in the history of placeholders. He's just here.
And he's here and needing to get better. This is not a guy that is like developed fully yet at all. Like put him in the category of still needs to develop, still needs to do what some of these young rookies are doing this year. He is wasting away on the bench. And I asked the people, the listeners and people in the YouTube chat, which by the way, you can always watch us on YouTube, Sactown Sports 1140. A lot of people are kind of mixed emotions on this. Some saying play Carter. I'm curious, and to you too, Matt, because you've posed this question. Like, what then do you feel like you can get out of Carter if they started? Like, what do you want to get out of him? What do you want to see from him?
From him specifically, I want to see that game-impacting hustle on the defensive end that got him into the league. The three-point shot looks wonky, but for some reason it can drop in Stockton. Haven't really seen it consistent enough at the NBA level. He's a really good rebounder for a guard. Just do what you do. Like, when he was drafted, the idea that I had was he's this Tasmanian devil that you can just unleash. Hey, Devin,
I just had that mind.
You get 15 minutes a night. Go out there and harass a ball head. Hey, picking up 94 feet, Doug, here's a psychopath who, in theory, could do that for you. At least that's what he was coming out of college.
Sure.
So those are the areas of Devin Carter's game where, like, doesn't that make sense for what Doug Christie's trying?
Yeah.
Like, would it shock you if Devin Carter was the a-hole that started getting in fights, was like a Dennis Schroeder light who started getting in fights and pushing people around?
No, not from what I saw in college, but it's like I don't see any of that
right.
here.
Well, because he's been made out to just be this watered down bust of a prospect when he's never really gotten an opportunity to showcase that. Again, I don't think Devin Carter's going to be a very good NBA player just off the limited glances, but I don't know. Because he hasn't really gotten a true chance.
Also, based on the development point, Kayla, going forward, that's going to be a problem for him because he's about to turn 24.
Right.
And if you're the Sacramento Kings, who right now have 3 picks next year, you're better off.
Buried. By the way, Nate Clifford is 24 and he's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It's Devin not only is a flop draft pick so far, it's that he's not young either. This isn't like some 20-year-old who's getting buried on the bench.
Yeah. Well, and the second part of the answer to the question that you posed is from the Kings standpoint, give some team out there an idea of if this is either one, an actual NBA player, or 2, a project that at least intrigues you enough to trade for that $5.1 million contract. Like, there's no reason for any team in the league to say, yeah, okay, throw in Devin Carter at this point.
No, and
nobody freaking knows. Nobody knows. So I guess if you use the second half of the season after the trade deadline to showcase him a little bit more so you can trade him during the summertime, like, he's got to play. If he just sits there and wastes away, then you have this completely negative value asset that nobody wants that if you're the Kings organization, you have to look in the mirror and go, well, we certainly haven't given him any opportunity to raise his value enough for us to trade him. Like at this point, he feels just as much of a throwaway contract as Dario Saric is. The problem is he was drafted last year in the lottery. So that's a negative representation on the Kings organization, regardless if Perry picked him or not.
It's so funny, and I'm not putting it on this level, guys. I'm not like comparing both of them equally. But it is one of those things where Kuminga has played more, granted. But it is to the point where Kuminga has become such a blown-up story. Mm-hmm. But this is a first-round guy in Kuminga. Devin Carter, lottery pick, whatever. But it's so funny because both of them are different in terms of age. So Devin is obviously behind in this. Mm-hmm. But Kuminga is kind of like one of those situations in Golden State, just at a blown-up level of how we've treated it, where Devin is like sitting here on the bench. We're not talking about this nationally, not even close, because he's not on that level of like player. But it is a similar situation.
I just feel Devin Carter is a good representation of just the ineptitude of the Kings organization.
And that's why people are scared of the upcoming draft too. I get it.
It's just ineptitude, and hopefully Scott Perry can fix that regardless of wherever he picks in the lottery this upcoming season. But there are a couple of rookies on this 3 rookies on this roster that are having encouraging seasons. Dylan Cardwell and Maxime Reynaud had a really interesting learning opportunity against the Detroit Pistons. I'll tell you the takeaways that I had from their games, plus we'll look at the updated Tankathon standings. The Sacramento Kings are moving back into that top 3 territory, baby. AJ. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally Towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe Show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, Toyota. Let's go places.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
From the YouTube chat line on Sactown Sports, where is it? From Pneumatic G. I'm going to laugh so hard when the Kings are bottom 3 and still get the 7th pick. Block that, man. Kyle, block him. Get that
energy.
Get that evil out of here.
Do we want to test fate here and run the tankathon and see what happens?
Let's do it, Kyle.
Pneumatic, just because you brought it up.
What a great idea. Let's head on over to Tank. Or are you doing it?
No, you're doing it.
Okay, I'm doing it. Here we go. Tankathon lottery. By the way, set the scene.
Yeah.
The Kings are currently 4th in the lottery standings, but they're half a game back at the New Orleans Pelicans, who are poo-poo for the 3rd spot, which is the best odds are top 3. You have a 14% chance of the number 1 overall pick and a 52.1% chance of the top 4. The Kings currently in the 4th spot have a 12.5% chance of the number 1 overall pick and a 48.1% chance at being in the top 4. Let's sim that lottery.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Did it happen? Did it actually happen?
Kings to 6!
Oh, my goodness.
Charlotte wins. What did Charlotte deserve? Oh, this is perfect. Dallas jumps up 6 spots to be 3rd.
Of course they do.
The NBA sucks. I'm mad about a fake lottery sim. God dang it, man.
I just think that they put an alert for the Kings in there to not ever give them.
If this happens in real life, I swear to God, if we go through a draft lottery and the Kings don't get a top 5 pick, I'm going to crash out. I don't care that this is a good draft lottery class. I don't care.
We need this on video.
No, we don't.
Is this the crash
We
out?
need me celebrating. I was in Kayla's seat. I sat right there. Jason Ross sat in this chair, and we watched the draft lottery together live on the air when the Kings moved up to 2.
Oh, wait. What happened then?
Shut up. We know who they drafted, but they moved up to 2 in that lottery. Baby, I'm a double down. I was celebrating. I thought we're getting Luka. We're getting Luka. No, but I need that moment again. Knowing hopefully Scott Perry does better than Vlade Divac and actually makes a good selection. I need AJ Domantas on this team. I need it for my soul. I'm doing the thing I shouldn't be doing, Kayla. I'm falling in love with a prospect that chances are will never be a Sacramento King. And I'm ready for my heart to be broken.
And see, that's the thing. This is like one of the better drafts, and the Kings should have an opportunity to pick top 3. Absolutely should. But then it's going to be the year that you've got Scott Perry. You think he's a guy that could actually get things right, and it doesn't happen.
The one thing, though,
I'm trying to I'm trying not to think positive, because then it will be like
dude,
reverse psychology.
Exactly. Reverse psychology. That's what I'm doing.
Kyle, I can't do it. I can't go through that.
Okay, so this is the thing that I'm realizing as I kind of sort of start to pay attention to the draft. Because I'm a guy who's like, I love the lottery, but also you shouldn't spend all your time fighting for half a percentage point during the regular season. It kind of just just ruins your viewing experience. But there's a lot of good prospects in the draft, but I really only think there's 2 that are like franchise cornerstone type guys.
That's what you need. You need a cornerstone. You need a star.
But this is why I kind of was hesitant for people who were like, they should just bottom out and sell at the start of the season, because I'm like, you don't know how long this is going to take. And granted, in the process, you'll acquire, your Ron Hollands and your Jaden Ivies and your whoever else, your Thompson twin. But unless you do hit it, you're just going to keep staying in that lottery until you get the one guy. And the Pistons, the Rockets lucked out with Şengün, and their number 2 pick was used to later get Kevin Durant. Like, you can luck out eventually, but if you don't, you're going to be just in that cycle for a while.
Regardless of where the Kings end up, they need to get the pick right. Like, Scott Perry needs to find a good NBA player, but just give yourself the highest chance possible in terms of lottery odds. Like, I'm aware that the Dallas Mavericks got the number 1 overall pick. They were in the play-in and they moved all the way up to 1. See, it's not an exact science. Yes, but odds are odds. You want to have the best percentage chance, and if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen, but you don't want to put yourself in perpetual purgatory, which is what the Sacramento Kings have done for far too many years. And I heard this brought up a lot on the broadcast. Look at the Detroit Pistons. 2 years ago, they were the worst team in the league. Now they're the number 1 team. You know what? They got the number 1 overall freaking pick. They got Cade Cunningham, and they built around him. That's what the Kings need. The Kings need their Cade Cunningham. The Kings need their star, and it's either Peterson or AJ Domantas.
Well, that's why I think that we have to cool our jets, though, because this is not going to be a year rebuild.
I know.
And so if it is something where they don't get one of these, like Kyle said, he's even bringing it down to just top 2 players.
I'm going to cry.
you're going to have some sort of patience with Scott, because Scott is going to have the task then of finding a not build around piece, but someone who is going to help the overall build. And that's not going to be the answer right away.
Yep.
And people are going to be mad about that.
Right.
And what if he gets it wrong? Then that's like a big X.
Right.
Because you can't be putting this team behind more, especially if you don't get a top 3 pick.
And the reality of the situation is, too, even if they got AJ or Peterson or any of it, even if you got your cornerstone that you believe is going to be your cornerstone, you're probably not going to be good next year.
No.
But at least I got a vested interest.
Well, yeah, it gives everybody more juice in the tank or oil or gas
I'll buy a
or
jersey.
whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah.
In fairness, we say this you have to get 1 or 2. Every team in the league is trying to be the team that gets a future All-NBA player in the middle of the first round of the draft, right? It's the hardest thing to do, I'd say, in all of sports is draft that guy. The Kings did it with Tyrese Halliburton. But it's the hardest thing to do in the NBA is get that guy in the middle of the draft. Right. Most of the time, you either get the number 1 pick, number 2 pick, or someone makes a mistake and you get him at 3 or 4.
Damn it, in 2026, I deserve, because it's all about me and the world revolves around me, I deserve to have my football team and my basketball team have the number 1 pick at the same time.
Good luck
I deserve it. I deserve it. Me.
Well, right now you've got a 12.5% chance at it.
You better do manifesting.
I need that number to be 1.5% higher, as if that makes that big
I don't
of a
know
difference.
if you can get both, Matt.
Hey, check this out. On Wednesday, Tyler Rucker, who is an NBA draft analyst for No Ceilings, he is going to join us at 105, and I already kind of had a conversation like this with him. I'm like, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to be so sad if AJ Domantas doesn't become a Sacramento King. And he said, dude, this draft class is deep. The Sacramento Kings, no matter where they pick, they'll have a chance to get a really, really good player. So he's going to join us on Wednesday to hopefully talk me out of just losing my mind if the Kings move down in the lottery. Also, by the way, I haven't even said this today.
I know. I was disappointed. You hadn't even talked about our guests
Very
today.
terrible hosting by me. At 1:30, Mike Sando, NFL reporter for The Athletic, is going to join us. Very excited about that, dude. Sorry, Mike. I've just done a terrible job plugging you because I'm emotionally a
Mike,
wreck.
you get a 12:36 shout out.
Yeah, so at 1:30, so in an hour, Mike Sando is going to join us to talk about this Super Bowl preview, talk about this season in general, his thoughts on the NFC and AFC championship games. Again, Mike Sando from The Athletic, NFL reporter, will join us at 1:28, around 1:30. The Detroit Pistons game, I thought, in addition to Nick Clifford's good game, Maxime Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell both didn't play very well.
No.
But I thought the Pistons were an interesting measuring stick for both of those guys. We know, let's start with Max. Max is a finesse center. He's not a physical center. Now, he needs to be better physically.
Weight on?
And he's going to get an off season where he's going to get to spend time in the gym. He's going to get all the best nutritionists, best coaches. Like he's going to put on weight. He's going to develop. Sure. Even if he's an older rookie, he's still going to put on muscle. So I'm not necessarily worried about that aspect. But one of my takeaways from Max with this game was, if you're going to be a finesse center, and that's going to be your strong suit, and you're going up against guys like Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, these physical bigs, you need to find a way to have that finesse be the counter. You need to find a way to, okay, I know inside the paint I'm going to get pushed around. So that floater needs to get going. That pick and roll floater needs to get going. For me, Max's skill as a finesse player, and hopefully his three-point shooting, that will continue to develop. But I think it was a good measuring stick for him of, okay, here is how I can use my game or change my game to, it doesn't have to match Isaiah Stewart. It doesn't have to match Jalen Duren, but I can still get buckets in my way. And we need to see that keep coming for Max.
I think that's what's exciting about the opportunity looking forward. He's already done a lot of good things. We've already seen growth from him. And this is also part of Doug Perry's next I did it again. That's it. Find me. Okay, Kyle, this is a new game. Every time I freaking mix Doug and Scott, you have to find me.
How much?
Well, it's not going to be in money because I don't have any.
Oh.
Wait, we just got to play some sound
effects. You can find me in, energy drinks.
Ooh.
You want to create like a pool?
Because I can buy those in bulk.
Ooh, I like
you just want to do like a tip jar, so we'll just put money in, and then at the end of the week, we'll get energy drinks for someone.
That could work. Yeah,
Okay.
and we're not starting it yet because
But
I
that
just
one
came
doesn't-
up
that
with
one
it.
doesn't
Yeah,
count?
that doesn't
Okay.
count.
All right.
So moving forward,
Starting
because
now.
I'm clearly having a major issue with bringing these two names together, and I don't know why.
But it's always Doug Perry. It's not Scott Christie. It's
Is that
always,
what it is?
It's always Doug Perry.
Doug Perry.
It's
Maybe
always
I
Doug
feel
Perry.
like that's a better last name for him.
All right, well, we can
Sorry.
play Doug correcting you when you do.
He's gonna kill me. So what was I even saying?
I don't, something about Max, Doug Perry.
Okay, because this has to be on Doug too, right?
Yeah.
So we can say, he's done a good job so far with development of some of these younger guys.
Mm-hmm.
There is a next level, and this is the time you've got to start to see other things happening, like you had just addressed with that type of play. He's not going to match that play, but he's got to find other parts of his games when you are going up against a team like that will help benefit him and the team.
Really quickly, because we're up against it, but for Dylan Cardwell, I think Dylan Cardwell should leave or hopefully left Detroit feeling very optimistic about his career.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dylan is a naturally physical big.
Oh, yeah.
But as we could see, there's levels to this, right? Like Jalen Duren and especially Isaiah Stewart.
He's not that level
He's not that level yet. But hey, doesn't matter that you were undrafted.
Yeah.
There is a spot for physical, rim-running, aggressive, rebounding centers in the league.
Sure.
And Dylan hopefully left Detroit going, doesn't matter if I'm supposed to be here or not. Doesn't matter who I was in Auburn. There are players in the NBA that are like me. There's the Mitchell Robinsons. There's the Isaiah Stewarts. I could be that for this team. And not only that, the Sacramento Kings have been looking for that type of player for feels like literal decades. So I think Dylan Cardwell's in an excellent spot, and the Pistons are a good example of a long and very successful career that Cardwell will hopefully have here in Sacramento. Holy smokes, we got so much still to get to. We're going to break from basketball because the NFL coaching carousel continues to go round and round and round. Some new hires. The Phillip Rivers is out of the Bills sweepstakes, and nobody wants to coach the Cleveland Browns. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your #1 source for all your Northern California sports. Sactown Sports 1140.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
There's the hard way to buy a car, and then there's the Hoblet way. Transparent prices, fast paperwork, and a team that's there to help, not hover. We've spent 77 years refining this process so you can get in, get out, and get driving with zero drama. Car buying doesn't have to be stressful. At least, not when you do it the Hoblet way. Experience the difference at hobletdodge.com. The easy way to buy.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Kayla Anderson, do you want to coach the Cleveland Browns? Because they might offer it to you.
Yeah, I've been up there. I'm going to have to pass.
No? You don't want Shador?
I don't want to go there to die. Okay.
Kayla's coaching career began and ended in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Matt and Kayla. Matt George, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass doing a phenomenal job over there. Hey, we're really excited. At 1:30 today, maybe a little earlier than that, Mike Sando from The Athletic, NFL reporter for The Athletic, is going to join us. Kayla Anderson is 3 for 3 in terms of huge NFL guests.
I'm trying,
for
guys.
us. She's look, when I think it's like nice co-host speak to say, oh, my co-host carries the show or something. Matt's just being self-degrading for humor purposes. No, Kayla Anderson carries the show. I'm just here to have a good time and scream about the Kings losing a tankathon sim.
Matt brings plenty to the show. We all know that.
I bring energy when it's the wrong energy drink from the vending machine that I'm still mad at myself
you said
for.
it's helping you
It
today,
is
though.
working. It
so
is.
whatever
Every sip
that
I take is just a reminder of my failure.
And I love how I'm talking in the middle of
Put
it.
that
Wait,
on
play
a
that
t-shirt.
again.
Every sip
On
I
accident.
take is just a reminder of my failure. For those who missed it earlier
Every
in the
sip
show,
I
take is just a reminder of my failure. I went downstairs to the vending machine to get a energy drink, and I wanted the drink that was on 51, and my brain put 50 because why? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I got an energy drink that I don't normally like, but hey, it worked, I guess.
That's all that matters in the end.
So
it worked.
That's the Cleveland Browns vending machine.
Yes.
It's just like, I don't know, but that one. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Like, it's crazy.
That's a good point.
Kyle, I'd love for you to jump in on this too. Maybe every sip
on
I
accident.
take is just a reminder of my failure. Kyle, if you want to coach the Cleveland Browns, you can put your, not that we want you off the show or anything like that, but you could probably put your resume in.
If it was offered to me, I would accept it.
I'm sure the money's good. And like, Kayla, we talked last week. I think the Jets' job is way worse than the Browns' job, but nobody wants to coach in Cleveland.
They really don't. And I guess, because I'm even thinking, we talked about weather earlier this year too, and just outdoor stadiums and stuff, which, by the way, Cleveland and the Jets have outdoor stadiums, and it gets nasty during the winter time there.
Kyle would hate it. He would say,
would
build me a
not
dome
like
and I'll
it.
coach here.
Yeah, he's like, Cleveland, put the dome over, I'm in.
They are doing that. Their new stadium is going to have a dome.
Lame.
And Cleveland is mad about it.
Boo them.
Cleveland.
Watch them build that stadium, get a dome, and then win like 3 Super Bowls in the next 10 years.
Then
it's
that
literally
would be
that.
wild.
Then it's like, okay, Kyle's a genius. He's right.
Yeah, it's probably the fact that they give certain quarterbacks the biggest mega deals that should never be back in the NFL, but yet are.
Whoops.
They just make stupid decisions, you guys, and I just don't understand. And look, Kevin Stefanski was a good and is still a good coach, but there's just too much other garbage that happens in Cleveland that always prevents them from having success. It's like the ultimate soap opera that never freaking dies. Like, I don't know if your mom and dad or your, sisters that are older used to watch soap operas, but some of those things are still living on. Like, I'm like, how is the soap opera still existing? That's what I feel like the Cleveland Browns are. They're like the soap opera of the NFL that just never dies. Like, they just get recasted with players that should be kicked out, but they just find ways, and they're like 60 years old and they're still playing these players. It's just wild to me.
And your grandma still loves it.
And
She can't help watching it even when
at
they run
noon
reruns.
every day or whatever it is.
Appointment television.
Yeah.
So just for reference, because some people might not know what we're talking about, the Jaguars offensive coordinator, who is like 30 years old, he pulled his name out of the head coaching search for the Browns.
Because he didn't want to be out of the league at 32.
Exactly.
Mike McDaniel pulled his name out of the running for the Cleveland Browns to go be the offensive coordinator of the Chargers.
That's just because he doesn't like cold weather.
Great choice.
That's already been announced. There was another coach who turned him down for an interview. I can't remember which one. These are the candidates who are still in the running for the Browns job. Defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, who hasn't coached in the NFL as a head coach in 11 years.
And shouldn't.
Anthony Lynn, who was the coach of the Chargers, and last I remember him, he was the offensive coordinator of the Lions, who got fired, and then they got Ben Johnson and immediately became good.
Where is he now, by the way?
He is the running backs coach for the Commanders.
Oh, that's where we've come to now. The running back. Okay.
It is Todd Monken, recently fired offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, who is 60 years old and wouldn't get a head coaching job otherwise. And the one that they'll probably hire, Nathan Scheelhaus, who is the passing game coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, who is like 35 years old and 2 years ago was the offensive coordinator at Iowa State.
And we all know him. Look, I get it. Sometimes you can strike gold with some of these offensive coordinator or quarterback coordinator, and sometimes it works. Most of the times it doesn't. And if they hire someone like that, great. But he'll be out of the league in 2 years as a head coach.
I forgot the other crazy note. The Browns have apparently had candidates do an essay and test in order to interview for the job.
Then I'm absolutely not interviewing. Don't take me back to high school or college.
That is allegedly true.
You have to write an essay to coach our god-awful franchise.
No.
To get millions of dollars to coach your team that no one wants.
Oh, I'm right. Oh.
Are you going to write one?
I'm going to... trying to think how much I want to commit to that bit because I was an English major and I've written so many essays that the word makes me cringe. But would I want to commit to the bit of writing my essay for why I should be head coach of the... No, I'm not.
They should actually just put it out to the public. Who wants to coach us?
Yeah.
You joke. Years ago, they were going to interview Condoleezza Rice for their head coaching job.
You're not wrong about that. Here's our version of essays. I have a sticky note. So we have a wall now. We're stealing NBA, inside the NBA's bit, and we're putting sticky notes on the wall of takes. I have one up there already that said, congratulations to the Seahawks for winning the Super Bowl because I'm writing off the Patriots. I have me, Kayla, and Kyle, the last team to fill their head coach position of the remaining teams, which are the Raiders, Cardinals, Browns, and Bills, right? Is there anybody else?
I believe that's it.
That's it. So four teams remaining.
4.
Raiders, Cardinals, Browns, and Bills. By the way, the Raiders are interviewing Joe Brady, and they plan to interview Clint Kubiak and Davis Webb. So the Raiders are finally making a little bit of noise and making some moves. So I'll do mine last because I don't want to influence anything. Kayla, who's going to be the last team to fill their head coach position?
We forget they're an NFL team, the Cardinals.
Cards.
This is random. I think the Cardinals are going to be first of this group because it looks like they want Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator for the Rams.
That's an awful choice.
No, I agree. That's, again, Cardinals, if not for the Browns, the Cardinals would be the team that no one wants their job.
Yeah.
It's like Raheem Morris, LaFleur, and people I don't know. So I will go Raiders will be the last to hire.
Raiders for Kyle.
Because I think it's going to be Clint Kubiak. I think it's just going to be, they're going to wait till after the Super Bowl. I think they're going to hire Clint Kubiak.
And I will go Browns just to make it different.
Blips and giggles.
All right, so that'll go up on the wall. I think the Browns will be the last team to fill their head coach position. Kayla is the Cardinals. Kyle is the Raiders. None of us picked the Bills, which Phillip Rivers pulled himself out of the running, and I think Phillip Rivers is doing them a major favor because, Kayla, you're in my reactions when we heard about that interview and Josh Allen sitting in on that interview and Josh Allen and Phillip Rivers being close. That would have been a disaster for the Bills, so I'm glad they're not doing it.
First of all, did we do that again for a PR thing? Because that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
We all knew that this is not going to be a thing, or it should not be a thing, and if it was a thing, that's a disaster. Why waste time when time is always precious in a coaching search? Why waste time bringing him in to even interview for the job? It's so stupid.
I did see somebody on the internet make the point that Phillip Rivers and I think it's Davis Webb and Josh Allen all have the same agent. So potentially the agent is pulling the strings a little bit.
Great, sure. Fine.
Like,
what is this, the NBA?
Trying to get Davis Webb and Phillip Rivers some good PR.
Again, that job is Super Bowl or bust. If you're basing that decision on anything except for which coach gives you the best chance to win a Super Bowl and maximize Josh Allen, you're doing it wrong. It's ridiculous to me. Don't make it any outside noise. I get you want to appease Josh Allen too, and I hope Josh would be smart enough. And I know Josh has a good head on his shoulders because he's shown it time and time again with his leadership and chatted with him a couple times too when he played in the Celebrity Golf Tournament in Tahoe. Great dude. He has to understand what's at stake here. He should want the best coach in there, period, that can help him and help his team ultimately win a Super Bowl and get back to being the team they were a couple years ago, because if they were that team, they would be playing in the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. Real quick, guys, before we wrap up too, what do you guys think of the Ravens hire of Jesse Minter, he's the head coach, former Ravens assistant, defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh?
It fits. It fits.
Because there's expectations in Baltimore, too. You still got Jackson.
Yeah, Baltimore is done. I'm not going to hate on Baltimore too much. I think their organization, for the most part, said we need to move on from Harbaugh. It's kind of a refresh. Yeah. They know what they want. They're so great at identifying the culture and what the organization is and meeting its needs. I think it's a good hire. I think they're smart in what they do. So I'm okay with it.
I just think they did the comfortable thing. They hired a guy who worked with John Harbaugh's brother, had been an assistant there for 4 years. They made the culture, quote unquote, hire, which was, we got the guy who knows the place, knows what we want. They kind of just went with the safe option.
Can't take anything away from that because there are a lot of organizations that don't know how to do that.
When we come back, we're kicking off the final hour of the show, hearing from Doug Christie, his comments after the Kings lost to the Detroit Pistons. Plus, the Clippers are surging, and the Thunder are faltering a bit in the West. Could the Sacramento Kings get involved with any of those two teams for a potential trade before the deadline? We'll discuss that, and I'm addicted. I'm doing another Tankathon sim. It's coming up right after this.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at the Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
All Americans should do what they can to prepare for the future. Donald Trump Jr. here with an important message. More and more Americans are looking for ways to diversify their hard-earned money, and gold is the perfect solution. For example, a gold IRA from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group lets you diversify your IRA or 401k into physical gold with zero taxes and zero penalties. You stay in control with a tangible asset that's held value for thousands of years. And right now, Birch Gold is offering a free info kit to help you understand how it works. Just text the word SECURE, SECURE, to 989898. There's no pressure, no obligation, just the facts. You can't predict the future, but you can be prepared, but only if you educate yourself. So take that first step right now. Text SECURE to the number 989898 today. That's SECURE to 989898.
Two iconic comedians, one night of laughs. David Spade, Dana Carvey.
In 1998, they invented the cordless mic. Now let me just, listen, Paramount Theater, let's not jump on trends.
Even in the best marriage, at one point, you look over and go, not my best choice.
Friday, February 27th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now at visitthundervalleyresort.com. David Spade and Dana Carvey together.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop. Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITBfest.com.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CRV, HRV, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
We are a little less than half an hour away from Mike Sando, one of the phenomenal NFL reporters that The Athletic has in their lineup. He's going to join us, preview the Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Seahawks, talk about those NFC and AFC championship games. Kyle, we should get him in the mix too, in your how he feels about domes versus weather and stuff. I'm very curious how
you're going to ask him about domes.
Yeah. Hey, what are your opinion on domes, Mike? No context. Just ask him about domes and just see what he says. I think he'll connect the dots enough to understand we're talking about football stadiums. But very excited to talk to Mike coming up around 1:30. We still got more Sacramento Kings talk before that. Of course, crosstalk with Whitey and Alan.
Is Alan back?
Well, we'll see how hungover he is after his weekend of partying at some wedding in San Francisco.
You've got multiple small children, Matt. I'm sure it was a tame evening.
No, let me tell you.
Maybe the kids were back at home.
Let me tell you. When you can get away from the kiddo or kiddos for a little bit and turn back the clock a little bit and enjoy a night, listen, it's hard to say no to that. Plus, we know Alan likes to get down. I'm sure he had a great time at the wedding. Alan is so introverted and so not he doesn't like to talk to people. He's definitely very shy,
very
quiet
He's in the
individual.
Corner usually.
Yeah, doesn't get on the dance floor at all. Certainly not. Alan's definitely not the type of guy that unsolicited grabs the microphone during a wedding speech. Which those people are the worst, by the way. Having open mics for wedding speeches, terrible. You deserve, if you allow that, you deserve the crazy aunt or uncle that says terrible things for 10 straight minutes. Speaking of talking, good segue, Matt. Doug Christie, post-game comment reactions.
Great segue, Matt.
Yep, after the Kings and the Pistons. I was surprised by this, Kayla, because I personally thought, look, I know the Kings didn't win the physicality battle with the Detroit Pistons. Not even close. Mm-hmm. But I felt the Kings physically at least tried to go mano-a-mano. You could tell it was a challenge from Doug Christie and his coaching staff. Hey, this team's going to push you around. They're going to try and punk us a little bit. Fight back, push back. We mentioned the incident at the end of the game where Neat Clifford got involved a little bit with Ron Holland after he shoved Keon Ellis. I thought that the fight from the Sacramento Kings was decent, even though it was a blowout loss. I didn't think they certainly got walked all over. But apparently Doug Christie was not happy with the physicality or lack thereof after the loss.
It was really a lack of physicality. I mean, we got to keep people in front of us. We got to grab, hold, and control. I mean, we know that we can do it. There has to be a level of physicality that is, and you hear me say the word, it's a standard. It's what we do. And that level of physicality, in my opinion, wasn't there. And that's where the game started to get away from us. And we have to not only match the physicality of the opponent, but exceed it, in my opinion. And, that can be uncomfortable. And it can be uncomfortable for not only yourself, but it can be uncomfortable for them, because when you are that physical with somebody, it's going to cause a reaction. And you got to be about that life. So, like I said, but we'll get there.
Yeah, my takeaway from that, Kayla, is Doug's MO is just no matter what, we can always control the fight that we have. We may lose the game, but we can always control the amount of fight. If that's just going to be Doug's MO, then that's Doug's MO. But again, you're facing a Pistons team that's known for fighting and the number 1 seed in the East. So I don't know how much you can expect the Kings to win the fight that night.
I think Doug's so strategic in what he does. That's just who Doug Christie is. Mm-hmm. And I feel like coming out and saying this after a game against a team like Detroit that is literally made to be like thought of as a physical team. Like that, even going back with the Pistons, we think of them as like
the bad boys.
The bad boys, the physical team. And knowing that like he kind of wants that identity as well for this future team if he's still here. I think even if he thought his team like played physically okay, he's not going to say that.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, no, but we play the Pistons, so I'm going to make them really have to think like we've got to step it up another notch, especially with teams like this.
And again, maybe I'm just giving them like too much credit, but I felt that the Sacramento Kings were ready for a fight and stepped up. The final score is the final. Matt, you're crazy. They got destroyed. Like, look, they gave up 100 billion points, 139.
Much, yeah.
I think the Pistons had 113 points at the end of the third quarter.
Did.
They had 78 points at half, which is the most this season. Like, I'm not pretending like the game went well for the Sacramento Kings, but I do feel like they stepped up. And maybe it's because I took so much positive away from Nick Clifford's game that I'm just associating that positivity of Nick Clifford's start with the start of the game.
I know, because I was actually going to go back and say, well, and then you got at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, you got the Nick Clifford thing with the exchange and like, being physical in the presence. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, but that was Nick Clifford, an individual situation. But no, I don't think it was a bad performance physically. Mm-hmm. I just feel like at this point, when you play a team like that, Doug is asking for a whole different level, and he just doesn't feel like he got that.
Here's Doug Christie talking about Nick Clifford.
I thought Nick did a good job, man. It's easy for me to say that now. I got to go back and look at the film, and I'll be very critical of him, but in a loving manner, because I think that the kid continues to improve. He continues to show all the things that when he was drafted that we thought that he could be. He handles the ball some. He can make plays. He shoots the 3-ball. He can rebound. Just understanding when he plays against a guy like Duncan how to grab a hold of him and really stay with him, fight through the screens, understand how to fight through the screens. You gotta wedge yourself in there and you gotta blow it up, meaning that there's a timing thing that happens when you grab a hold of him and he gets ready to go. You got to be prepared to hit that gap and blow it up. And listen, it may be a foul, but you got to demonstrate to him that you're willing to put yourself in harm's way. And he's learning.
And I think that's where Doug's doing a good job this season, is with all of these rookies, with all of these young guys. He's instilling confidence in them to, hey, be yourself, try some things. He's talked a lot about, he's encouraged Nick Clifford to go for those poster dunks. I think only once in like 5 tries has it worked out for him. He tried again in Detroit the other night. Didn't work out for him. But like instilling the confidence, Nick, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have embarrassing moments. You're going to have bad games. You're a rookie. You're going against the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. Be fearless. Try some things, and we can live with it. And I think instilling that confidence, we're seeing now a response from Neek, and we saw a great response from Dylan Cardwell and Maxime Reno already.
Even with the fouls that he mentioned, I think in the very beginning, take us back to the very beginning when some of these younger players just started playing. I think with Maxime, maybe it was he would yank him pretty quick.
Yes.
But I think Doug has also grown to the point where he's he's like realizing I've got to leave them in and have them work through some of these things. And even when it comes to the fouls, like I have to like not be all up in arms. I've got to let them learn from that because they're rookies. Like that's part of growing as a rookie is you're going to get into foul trouble. That's something where eventually that's not going to be as much of an issue.
And that's a big thing you bring up the fouls too with Dylan Cardwell is Dylan's a master at picking up fouls quickly. Malik Monk has actually praised Dylan. He's like, he knows how to foul.
All right, exactly.
He might foul a lot, but he'll foul you so you can't get a shot off.
Yeah.
Like he'll make sure, Malik's talked about, if I get beat, like he's going to be there and he's going to foul him so it's not an easy bucket at the rim. It's easier to dial someone back than it is to encourage them and fire them up. So Doug, I think, is learning to live with, Dylan's going to have fouls and they're going to have those moments, but I'd rather him be aggressive and be in a mindset that I'm going to block every shot that comes my way and get either dunked on or foul rather than, hey, dude, go up and get that basketball. Stop him at the rim. Don't just give him the easy bucket. So that's an area of growth for Doug, certainly as a coach and a player development coach so far this season. But speaking of Malik Monk, Doug also talked about Malik and the game Malik had.
But to watch Malik, and I've said this before, but to reiterate it, to watch him grow as a young man on the court and off the court has been a great gift because you pour into him, you watch them go through ups and downs, and then you watch them respond in moments like I think that he's responded. Like he is high-level professional. He's taking his craft serious. He's going out there and delivering on a night-to-night basis, and I have absolutely zero problem with Malik. Just coaching is coaching. But as a human being, I love him. I'm here for him always. But he has done one hell of a job this year, going through all the things that have transpired, and proud of him.
Doug has always liked Malik. That's never been a question. But I think the way we're hearing people talk about Malik adds fuel to that report that I had the first week of this show, which is that the Kings are now pivoting, or they're not shopping Malik as aggressively as they were and pivoting towards a future where Malik is at least still a part of things, which I didn't expect that to be the case coming into this season. I still believe the Kings would trade Malik Monk and trade anybody if the right deal was out there. It's not like he's untouchable or anything, but the Kings have definitely, and maybe it's Malik, has played his way into, whether you want to call it the good graces or the feelings of, hey, maybe he can be a part of the start of this rebuild. That narrative has changed drastically over the past few weeks.
I think that whole thing is so interesting because I think, when you talk about Malik Monk and you mention Malik Monk's name, obviously, the fans are all about Malik for the most part.
Right.
You get positive feedback and, we want Malik here. I fell in love with Malik when I came here, just the type of player he was. And I love his presence and just kind of what he stands for his other teammates. But it did seem like at times, because of some of the minutes, and then we saw him DMP, I wondered, is the organization as in love with him as the fans are? And I was convinced at some point that maybe he wasn't what they saw in the future. So I really am curious, did that change, or is it just the fact that there wasn't a market for him, or there wasn't the feedback they were getting? Because I don't think having him on the team hurt you. I think it helps you.
It does. I feel personally that the Kings were looking too much at Malik Monk, the contract, and not at Malik Monk, the basketball player. Okay. I think Scott Perry was looking at Malik as the fourth highest contract on the team. Out of all four contracts, he should be, in theory, the easiest to move. I would have, if Scott had come out day one of the job and said, I think Malik has value that I can trade for and capitalize, I would have agreed with him. The market has said otherwise, and I don't understand this market at all. I don't understand Malik's market or lack thereof. I don't understand DeMar DeRozan not having a market. We've talked about that a lot over the past couple of weeks, Kayla. For me, I just feel like the Kings were looking at Malik more as a contract and less as a basketball player. And when Dennis Schroeder got into that fisticuffs or that episode with Luka Doncic, it allowed Malik the opportunity to remind everybody what he can be for this team in the correct role. Now, Malik's still been playing pretty good as a 2-guard next to Dennis Schroeder in that second unit. But Malik is still at his best, in my mind, as a secondary ball handler and a backup point guard off of the bench. I think he's more than capable of holding down that spot. I think he proved that a little bit. Plus, I give Malik a ton of credit throughout this entire season. He has not pouted. He's been very actively a cheerleader even when he wasn't playing, and he's really found a joy and enjoyment in bringing the young guys under his wing a little bit.
That's
so
part
I think
of it
Malik
too,
I think Malik's changed a lot of minds.
I think you brought up the young guys, and I think him and hopefully we'll get Dylan Cardwell on the show soon. But I think that Dylan Cardwell and Malik have also built a really good bond.
Yeah.
And we've
Beam
seen
man
them
signing off.
Exactly. We've seen them kind of joke around and give each other a little crap sometimes, but I think that's a great mentor to have for a guy like Dylan. Their personalities are weirdly somewhat similar. So I love seeing that growth, but Malik has been part of that with a lot of the younger guys.
Well, now that we're complimenting Malik Monk, we're going to potentially try and trade him as we
here we go.
We transition into hypothetical trade talks. But before that, about 45 minutes or so ago, Gary Gerald, the legendary radio voice of the Kings, and you can listen to him broadcast every single Kings game right here on Sactown Sports, he tweeted out a picture from inside a plane where the Kings are still on the ground, or at least as of 45 minutes ago, we're still on the ground in Detroit, trying to get into the air to head towards New York. They've been dealing with what a lot of teams are dealing with, is weather and these storms on the East Coast. So the Kings are hopefully going to make it to New York by the time they take on the Knicks in the Madison Square Garden. In the Madison Square Garden? Is that what they call it? Just
Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden.
That's the least New York way. Like, if I'd said the Madison Square
the
Garden.
Ohio State? If you don't say the Ohio State, you're going to get in trouble.
I'm pretty sure if I were on the streets of Manhattan and I said the Madison Square Garden, I'd get beat up and robbed.
You probably would.
This is like the
"Who are you?"
Facebook. You're doing the old people.
Oh my God! It's like, you Californian.
Oh, that is what old people do, isn't it?
Yeah, they call it the Facebook, the Instagram.
I think my mom does that.
What's that term? I just gave myself the ick. That's what I did there by saying the Madison Square Garden.
Ugh.
But we have complimented Malik Monk. Now let's talk about potentially trading him. The Los Angeles Clippers are on fire right now.
Yeah.
I think, 15-3 over the last 18 games.
Helps to get Chris Paul out there, doesn't it?
Oh, don't blame Chris. It's not CP3's fault. I didn't like how the Clippers handled CP3.
Their fans are out here eating tweets.
I'm giving a little crap.
Yeah, fans are eating tweets. And this is good. This is really, we're all rooting for this because the Thunder own the Clippers pick. If the Clippers were bad and had given the Thunder a top 5 pick, you saw me crash out over Tankathon in that sense. I swear, if the Kings get a worse pick than the Thunder via the Clippers.
Oh my gosh.
FCC, warning you right now. FCC,
get an ambulance ready.
Get that dump button going.
I will say, as a sports anarchist, I'm now rooting for the Thunder with a 1% chance to jump back in the lottery. It'd be funny if everyone's like, oh, thank God the Thunder are gone, and now the Thunder jump back to the top of the lottery.
Don't you dare.
I don't like you.
Wish that evilness on us.
I do not like you. Well,
why? Wouldn't it be funny if they picked a James Wiseman and with just absolute bust?
I don't want to see the Thunder anywhere close to the top pick. No, it would not be funny, even if they got it wrong. But they're not going to get it wrong because Sam Presti is good at everything he does because he's a genius baby boy.
And probably they can afford to get it wrong now.
The Thunder, oh, darn, our rookie didn't work. Oh, well, we just have SGA and all the other guys.
Oh, no, we still have 2 more first-round picks this year.
Oh, gee dang it.
Shucks.
Well, the Thunder are actually faltering right now. They're not playing too well. The Clippers are surging. So naturally, in true Kings fashion, hey, these two teams, let's see how the Kings can get involved in potential trades for them as the deadline is now 10 days away.
10 days, huh?
10. Well, it's a week from Thursday.
Okay.
Today's Monday. Monday to Thursday is 3 days. Yeah, 10 days. Okay. 7 plus 3, 10.
It is 10 days. Well, technically now 9 days, 22 hours, and 43 minutes.
Clippers are surging. Thunder are faltering. Do the Sacramento Kings get involved in either of these two teams in a potential trade? Let's start with the Clippers. We've heard DeMar DeRozan connected to the Clippers before. Kayla, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't look at the Clippers and go, man, they other than DeMar is from LA and the Clippers like to just have a bunch of older stars
You're saying James Harden and DeMar DeRozan don't make sense together?
And add Kawhi Leonard in there too, but at least Kawhi can play defense. Kawhi's having a great year, by the way. DeMar doesn't make any sense to me to the Clippers, but Malik Monk makes a ton of sense for the Clippers. They need some guard help. I think Malik Monk would be great in Los Angeles. Again, we just complimented him, so I'm not like shopping Malik Monk to the Clippers necessarily. But if I was LA, I'd be calling the Kings up going, yo.
They did technically get rid of Norman Powell, added Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's done for the season, so they're like a Norman Powell short of where they were last year. So they do need a Norman Powell's worth of production.
So before the show started, we put together what a potential Kings-Clippers trade could look like. And again, I acknowledge completely this goes totally against all the positive Malik Monk conversation that we just had.
Mm-hmm.
But what works is Malik Monk for Bogdan Bogdanovic, former Sacramento King, CP3, Chris Paul, and a second-round pick. Bogey has a $16 million team option for next season, which you can.
He hasn't played much, has he?
Yeah, on and off.
He's been hurt.
He's a good player, but he's hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you can not pick up that option. Essentially, what this move is you're getting off of Malik Monk's contract. It's a salary dump. Like, CP3 probably doesn't play here at all in Sacramento. That's fine. And you get a second-round pick out of it.
Yeah.
I think on paper, most people go, hell no, why would you just salary dump Malik Monk? But if the Kings are really serious about trying to get off that contract, maybe you do this move. I personally don't do it, but maybe there's something there for the Clippers.
Yeah, that doesn't give me, like, happy feels by any means.
It's a dump.
It's a straight dump. And that's where I think we're at. What are we willing to sacrifice?
Yep.
Like, are we willing to sacrifice the fact that, we're going to keep everything intact and it's going to just be a bunch of log jams still? Or are we okay with being like, let's start the movement?
Mm-hmm.
And this is things that could start the movement. That's a hard one, though, because Malik Monk being involved in that, I'd be like, oh, Keon Ellis, okay. Someone like that. I still am like feeling like Malik Monk can be a part of this team.
100%. And if you dump Malik Monk, like the only way logically it makes sense to like salary dump Malik Monk is if you felt you have a future with Keon and you're freeing up the spot for Keon to now play every day. But it's pretty clear there is no future with Keon. The Kings are going to be more than likely trading Keon Ellis because I think the Kings and Keon should feel very confident that there's not a new deal between the Kings and Keon coming if he sticks around. So the only reason to salary dump Malik Monk would be to completely open up the playing time for Keon. But if the Kings move Malik and Keon at the deadline, but DeMar and Levine and Russ and Schroeder are all still on this roster, didn't do anything.
We're still pretty much having the same conversations except for minus Keon Ellis and why he hasn't played minutes.
You got older.
Yeah, and then we're like, dang it, we wish we had Malik Monk back.
You got older. Well, what about a Oklahoma City Thunder deal? Speaking of Keon Ellis seems like someone who would fit perfectly into what the Oklahoma City Thunder do. Now, Kyle reminded me that the Sacramento Kings have the right to the Spurs pick if it's 1 through 16 in 2027.
Next draft.
Yeah.
Next year's draft.
Yeah, the 2027.
Yes, next year's draft.
Next year's draft, the 2027 draft. If the Spurs pick is a lottery pick or 1 through 16, the Kings get it. They got that as part of. That was the only pick they got from the Spurs, period, in a De'Aaron Fox trade, which is crazy.
They got the 2031 Timberwolves pick.
I'm saying the Spurs pick, though. Like the
only Spurs
pick they got in a Fox trade, which is nuts to me.
And didn't get their pick swap back.
Correct. The Thunder own that pick if it's 17 through 30.
Mm-hmm.
So what if the Kings call up the Thunder and go, yo, you can take Keon Ellis right now, and we will take full rights to that pick. So no matter what that Spurs pick ends up being in 2027, the Kings get it. Is that enough? Or do you try and ask for like a second rounder in addition to that? Like maybe if you want to secure yourself a first round pick for sure that has the potential of being higher than like 28 or 29, which is likely the route or the value of the first round pick they're going to get for Keon Ellis. Maybe that's a route you go and you give Keon to Thunder, and then the Kings fans have to suffer watching Keon potentially help win a championship again for OKC.
I need a little more.
Okay.
You said the second too.
So you need
second rounder.
You basically get full rights to that 27 Spurs first, and you get a second round pick on top of that. You need more than that.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, I'm moving one of the pieces that is not the. It's not the big salary dump.
Yeah.
We all want that. We're all on the same page with that. One of these guys. But again, if there is a way to start moving parts and you're getting something in return with picks, that would be suitable for me.
And guys, more than likely next year or in 2027, the Spurs are not going to be 1 through 16 unless, knock on wood, Wemby gets hurt, or Fox gets hurt, or something bad happens. Exactly. More than likely, that pick is going to OKC. So the Kings, that's why you're trading Keon to essentially free up that pick, so you for sure get it. So that's the thought process there. I'm curious what people say, if people are weighing in yes and no on any of those. But we're going to break right now because coming up, Mike Sando from The Athletic, NFL reporter for The Athletic. He joins us next to talk some football. It's coming up right here on Matt and Kayla.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices. As a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyer's Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Looking forward to having the Athletics' Mike Sando on with us. In fact, he is here now. Mike Sando, one of the amazing NFL reporters for The Athletic, joining us on Matt and Kayla. Mike, before we talk about football, what people care about, Kayla shared with me that you've got either family or you're from Sacramento. One, is that correct? And two, I am also from Sacramento. I'm very curious about what high school you attended, if this is home for you.
No, it's true. Yeah, Mariloma High School. Yeah, I'm probably going to get in trouble if my mom finds out about this, that I didn't let her know that I was coming on. But sorry, Mom, a little busy there. My mom lives there. I got, my sister and I have cousins and aunt and niece and a lot of people there. So, and friends too.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thank you for coming home on the airwaves at least and joining us on the show. What do you make of this Super Bowl matchup that we're getting? If I had told you at the beginning of the season it would be Patriots and Seahawks in the Super Bowl, what would your reaction have been?
Well, I would have said, wow, okay, Seattle, you could see they had a good thing going, but I would have not thought the Patriots would be there at all. So, especially you look at the AFC, who did they have to beat, right?
Yeah.
It just wouldn't have made any sense. And in fact, I was looking at I was kind of measuring by the preseason odds. I think this is the longest odds Super Bowl matchup since at least 1977 season. Wow. In terms of, if you just combined, what the odds were for each team to win the Super Bowl. mostly because of the Patriots. But I think both of them were like the Seattle was like 60-1, and the Patriots were 80-1. So that's a huge surprise. That's kind of been a fun season that way.
Mike Sando, the great NFL reporter, joined us. You can follow him at Sando NFL on X. And I loved this tweet you put out. I'm a Seahawks fan, Mike. I don't even know if you knew that. But you put a little tweet out that said Seahawks already played a Super Bowl in the Cardinals Stadium, speaking of Arizona Cardinals. Now they'll play one in the 49ers Stadium. The Super Bowl after that is in the Rams Stadium. So you're saying maybe there's a chance that they could just hit all NFC West teams and go to Super Bowls there.
You got to get a Super Bowl in Seattle after that, right? Maybe they can win, play in one there. So it is kind of amazing. The West Coast is, I'll take it, living on the West Coast. It makes it easier to travel.
In all seriousness, though, it was probably the most difficult division this year. Would you say that? And is that just more surprising in a way? I know you said you kind of expected that the Seahawks could be there, but that division is just so difficult.
Yeah, I think it was the toughest division through the season. Sometimes the division records are misleading because you get paired with an easy opposing division. And that happened a little bit. They were playing teams from the NFC South, and yet, I think these teams did very well outside the division as well and had one of the better records in the last 25 years for a division playing non-division opponents. So it was a gauntlet a little bit. And I think some things really worked well, for Seattle and for the NFC West, just in that, Green Bay lost Micah Parsons. That's kind of a freak injury. They were a team people thought was up there. And Philadelphia had a little bit of a hangover after the Super Bowl, some issues on offense. I think those things helped kind of clear the path. And you need help sometimes, right? You can be a great team and just not win all the games because of who you play. And I think for both of these teams, especially New England, I mean, they had a really easy path. People are joking about it. Things fell right for them too.
Mike Sando, NFL reporter for The Athletic, joining us. Mike, there are a lot of victory laps happening in Seattle right now, not just because the Seahawks are Super Bowl bound and they beat the Rams in order to do it, but Sam Darnold, the game that Darnold had, you have a lot of his teammates, his coaching staff, a lot of people in Seattle just talking him up, hyping him up, having his back. What did you make of Darnold's performance? It certainly wasn't just a relying on my defense to get me there. He had to step up and go mano-a-mano with Matt Stafford to get there.
Well, I do think that Sam Darnold is good and underappreciated, but we all know that he, you can't hide it, that he had a 4-interception game against the Rams. Yep. He had a really bad playoff game against the Rams last year. He, I think had more turnovers than any quarterback in the league this year. So those are all just real things that don't have anything to do with someone's narrative on a player or are you disrespecting them. Those are just the facts.
Sure.
So I thought if it turned into that type of game where both defenses were struggling, I would favor Stafford in that. And really, I mean, Stafford might have won it without the special teams help was a big part of that too, right? You got the turnover there, which led to a quick touchdown. And I think this was a game that could have gone either way. But Darnold, to answer your question, was really great in the toughest ways, like third down. They know you're going to throw the ball, taking hits. I think he got hit on. He might have got hit on every touchdown pass he threw. Those are the measures in the big games, the big moments. Can you stand in there and deliver? And with some doubt over his oblique and that sort of a thing, I thought he looked great.
The game previously, obviously in Denver with the snowstorm that happened in the second half, there are, some rumblings about the dissatisfaction with Sean Payton and maybe not kicking the field goal there in the second quarter because they knew the weather was coming. What did you make of maybe the coaching decision by him?
Yes, I probably would have liked to kick the field goal. Now, they were missing a lot of field goals in the game too, and so as a coach, you're also taking into account, hey, is this when you decide to do those close field goals instead of going for it? Usually, it's on the calculation that it's like a nearly 100% make on the field goal, right? That you're going to for sure get 3. So, I don't know if that entered into his mind. It was a close field goal, so probably not a huge factor, but maybe he felt like it's an 80% field goal. That would change your calculus if you feel like it's a 60% go for it and get a touchdown versus an 80% field goal, right? Now you're like, okay, 80% of 3 points. Do you want 60% of 7 points, right? It's a little bit of a different calculation. So I give him a little bit of grace on that. I think in retrospect, sure, they'd like to have the 3 points.
Mike, I'm going to selfishly bring you into a debate or a conversation we were having on this on the show earlier today. Kyle Ledbetter, who's our amazing producer, you talked to him before coming on the air with us. He suggested in our group chat while this game was going on that like every cold weather team and should have a domed stadium so that these championship games aren't so drastically impacted by the elements and by snowstorms and things of that nature, the way that Broncos and Patriots was impacted. Kayla and I are on the other side. We kind of like the traditional. We like the fun and the chaos that those can bring, and watching these teams and these coaches and these players who are the best in the world adapt to the elements and the things that they can't control. Where do you fall on that line of domed stadiums versus, bring on the elements and figure it out?
I've always been an elements and figure it out person. I've always liked that. But when I say that, it's like there are certain games where I kind of wish that one game had been in a dome. And I feel that a little bit yesterday. I think that's a tough way to have the season go, where you're just ice skating out there. And it just didn't feel like it just felt like not the truest measure of who the best team was. But that's football. I'm glad they're not all in domes. I do like the fact that going to Soldier Field in Green Bay means something, especially Green Bay. If you've ever watched a game there, it's different. It would be terrible in a dome there.
Mike Sando of The Athletic, also Sacramento native, joining us here on the Matt and Kayla Show. Mike, we were just speaking about, the coaching carousel. It's just been wild. But we are watching in real time candidates turn down the Cleveland Browns job. Mike, is this the worst job out there?
I don't know that it is, now, unless have intel on what they're planning to do. Maybe they're going to hire a new coach 1 year from now, and they're just going to try to get the top pick. But I do think that once the Deshaun Watson contract goes off the books next season, that it may not be quite as bad as it's been. And I think that Andrew Berry as a GM is pretty easy to work with, sharp guy. One of the people that was kind of clouding the front office there, John DePodesta, who has a baseball background and was kind of, advising them on different things. He's out of there. I think that would be more comfortable for more traditional football people to go in there. And I've heard from people who work here that they treat you well. Mm-hmm. I know coaches that have worked there, and they liked their experience in terms of how they were treated. So, as a coach going in, some people can't turn it down. Other people, maybe they feel like they do have other options, or they don't want to relocate their family to Cleveland, or they have reservations about the owner. I think those are all fair things, but I don't think it's probably as bad as it's made out to be there.
Mike, I'm a Raider fan, so your prayers and thoughts are appreciated.
Yeah.
But here they are also looking for a coach, and now they've got the number one pick, which is we expect to be Fernando Mendoza coming in. How appealing do you think that job is, given the history of that organization, the Tom Brady element to it, the Fernando Mendoza element to it? What do you think about the future of the silver and black in that sense?
I think that's a tough one. And by the way, I was a Raider fan. I had season tickets to the Raiders when they first moved back to Oakland, 95, 96, 97.
Then you survived. You got away. You escaped.
Yeah, some bad. Well, yeah. Once I started covering the league, then all those allegiances. You're not experiencing the game as a fan anymore. So you're not. You're working. But I think it's a bad sign. I think Tom Brady does a great job on the broadcast, by the way. I admire the heck out of him. But I think it's a bad sign for your franchise when you're hiring Matt Ryan or the Dolphins are asking, asking Troy Aikman, or you're enlisting Tom Brady. I mean, these are all great quarterbacks. They know more football than most of us, but they haven't run organizations. They haven't hired. They don't know what they don't know because they've been hyper focused on one aspect of this for their whole lives. And so I just think that's a hard. I mean, maybe Tom Brady gets it right, but why would he be good at overseeing this?
Mike,
right? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mike, because it brought me to the question. I just thought about this with Phillip Rivers, being brought in to interview for the Bills head coaching job, and then he pulled himself out of the running. Do you think, what was all that? Because I feel like on the outside looking in, I'm like, I don't think that would ever work. But,
No.
I know the connection with Josh Allen and him.
Yeah, I don't think they were ever going to hire Phillip Rivers, but I can see why you might want to talk to someone. I think that's what these interview processes can be about. Let's let's cast a wide net. Let's learn. Philip Rivers, that was interesting when he went to India. I'd love to just kind of debrief him on his experience there. I'd also like to ask him, hey, Philip Rivers, you started 200 and some games in the NFL, and you know what? You played in a kind of a tough franchise. You never won a Super Bowl, even though you're a great quarterback. Man, as you look back, what would you do to help Josh get over the top? Something like that, right? Wouldn't that be a cool conversation to have?
For sure. Just
I
like
would
pick
totally
his
want
brain.
to have that. Absolutely. That's what these guys do. And one of the problems that Cleveland has is they like to give you these personality tests, and stuff like that, where you almost feel like you've been profiled. You know what I mean? How unsettling would that be unless you knew you were getting the job to go in and give them your sort of mental DNA?
Yeah.
Right? Where FBI uses this stuff. I'd kind of be interested to see what my results would be privately for myself, but would you want the whole world or someone in the league who might work for 3 other teams in the future or might pass it along? That would scare me.
And also, Mike, if you go through a test like that and the world knows your personality traits or whatever, and then it's good enough for the Cleveland Browns to hire you, I don't know if that's the most, that's the best term of endearment. Let's put it that way.
But what an advantage if you knew that and you had psychologists and stuff, and then you're playing against that guy and he's coaching the Steelers now, and you're like, okay, you know what really pushes his buttons?
That's
right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to know that. I wouldn't want someone to know that.
Mike, I was crashing out earlier on the show because I went down to get a drink from the vending machine downstairs, and I pushed the wrong button and got the wrong drink, and my mental fortitude for the entire day was thrown off. So that probably would show up on my Cleveland Browns report.
That could. What drink did you end up? What drink did you want, and what did you get?
Well, I wanted a one particular. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah,
say it. I wanted a Monster Energy drink. I ended up with a Celsius because I pushed the wrong button, and my day was ruined for the rest of time. So the mental fortitude's not there to coach a football team, I don't think.
Yeah, well, I don't have the mental fortitude. If there's any diet sodas around me, I don't have the mental fortitude to not drink them all. You know, it could be a Diet Coke, it could be a Diet Mountain Dew, a Diet Dr. Pepper. I could live off of them. So I have to go pace myself.
I'm with you, Mike.
Mike Sando from The Athletic, NFL reporter for The Athletic, joining us. Mike, you're from Sacramento. You have Sacramento ties, so I know you probably roll your eyes when anyone tries to lump us in with the Bay. But that being said, will we see you in the Bay in Santa Clara / San Francisco for Super Bowl coverage?
Yeah.
And I got to sneak in a little bit of a 49ers question here, too, because what a crazy, tumultuous year that they went with. How do you just sum up what this year was for the Niners? And it's a very interesting offseason for them because they can't look at any kind of it's like a retool, right? Because they expect to be right back in that postseason conversation.
It's one of those seasons that's probably really rewarding for everyone who went through it, but, kind of wasted a year of the window, right? Because your goal is to win it all. But I think let's just back up from that because not everybody's going to win it every year, and obviously the 49ers haven't won it for a long time. It's really hard to do, but I would encourage people to just appreciate what they were able to accomplish against some really long odds. And I would bet you a lot of those players, when they look back, even if they win a Super Bowl another time, might look back on this season as one that really stood out to them for what they were able to accomplish going on the road and winning in the playoffs and really being a team that people thought was just going to fall by the wayside and just showing a lot of toughness and resolve. I thought it was a great season, and it would be really different next year. I think obviously Robert Saleh is already gone, the defensive coordinator. That raises some questions. And what's George Kittle's coming off of a serious injury. I think the thing that was amazing this year was Christian McCaffrey was healthy the whole year.
Yes.
Does that happen again? Because every year that he's led the league in touches, which he did this year, I think he did it twice before. The next year he missed a lot.
Ooh.
So, keep your eye out for that with him. Hopefully that's not the case, but I've always worried about all of their skill guys, just the way they take hits in that offense. Whether it was Deebo Samuel, he used to get wide receiver, but got hit like a running back. He'd get twisted around, hit in the back. George Kittle obviously plays like that. And McCaffrey, man, he just gives it his all, but he's a running back, and we know those guys tend to wind down at his age. So I do have this feeling like they're probably still going to be good, but are they ascending, or are we starting to see some signs of the regression?
Mike, you've been so generous with your time. Enjoy the Super Bowl festivities. Hopefully we see you over there at some point. Great work this incredible season, and looking forward to more great seasons of your coverage to come, my friend. We appreciate you taking the time and hope to have you back on very soon.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it very much. We'll see you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you so much to Mike Sando. We are going to take the break because when we come back, Whitey Gleason, Alan Stiles join us for a little bit of crosstalk as they begin their week of the Drive Guys here on Sactown Sports.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Two iconic comedians, one night of laughs. David Spade, Dana Carvey.
In 1998, they invented the cordless mic. Now let me just, listen, Paramount Theater, let's not jump on trends.
Even in the best marriage, at one point, you look over and go, not my best choice.
Friday, February 27th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now at visitthundervalleyresort.com. David Spade and Dana Carvey together.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Sticking with the trend of taking what the Alan Stiles show did and making it our own and pretending like he didn't do it, we did a tankathon sim today. And it went terribly. And now that you boys are here, we're going to do another one because you're going to be better luck because I crashed out over it. Here we go. Tankathon sim, everybody. The Sacramento Kings are number 2.
There you go. Yeah.
Look at that.
Number 2, ladies.
Alan will claim because Alan was in the
That's
in the
right.
room.
That's right.
Yes.
Wow. Hey, well, AJ, come on home, baby.
We're on the same page with that.
Yes.
AJ dropped 42.
Yes, he did.
42 over the weekend. If AJ Domantas is a Sacramento King, I will be making very happy sounds here on Sactown Sports. I don't know what that means. I'll leave that for you to figure out. By the way, Milwaukee moved up to number 1, but that pick goes to Atlanta in this, and New Orleans, they lose their pick, and Milwaukee gets number 6. So, hey, how about that?
Kingston
Whitey
Flemings
Gleason.
had a big weekend, too.
Your thoughts?
I'm excited about a number of players. I'm not so Domantas-centric.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful, but there's a handful of guys. If the Kings got them, party time.
Yeah, I'm fully aware that I'm emotionally tying myself to a player that very likely
Probably
won't be a Sacramento King, because even if the Kings go number 1, do they go Peterson? Do they go Boozer? They have options, right? And this is an exciting draft class, but we're all just counting down the days, not just to the draft lottery, we're counting down the days to the trade deadline, which 5 more games, guys, between now and the trade deadline. Does Perry make us watch all 5 without a move?
So we're talking next Thursday, right?
Next Thursday. Yep.
Yeah.
One more
Yeah,
home
it's going
game,
down to
too.
the wire. They're extracting maximum value, so it's taking it right down to the wire.
It seems like, I don't know. It seems like there's a real chance that we're stuck. We're stuck with this team.
Except for
no
Keon,
moves?
like minus Keon?
Like minus Keon or Devin or somebody like that. But, I mean, I was reading Clutch Points today and just the idea of who wants these guys, right? I mean, I've been saying this for a while. It's like that garage sale. You know what I mean? And you gotta let's put the sign somewhere else. You know what I mean? Let's drive it down the street because clearly not enough people know that we have some great stuff for sale. No, we know, we just don't care. And I'm very afraid. I'm very afraid.
Is DeMar DeRozan's lack of value period surprising to anybody else? Like Kayla and I can't figure it out.
We can't really figure it out. We don't think it's.
Look, if you want to keep it in between the lines, then sure. If you want to wonder, is this maybe about his thought process or have there been conversations? I mean, we saw last week the word on the street, I believe that was Sam Amick, said his camp said we're good from the Warriors thing. Well, why in the world would he say that? So I don't know what DeMar wants. We thought that he wanted to, play at a high level, get back to the playoffs. Maybe he just wants to hoop with his buddy from SoCal. I don't know.
Sure.
I do not know. Because why would you say no to that?
You mentioned Devin Carter.
Mhm.
We had a full conversation about
I heard
Devin
it.
Carter.
You guys started off saying,
I know.
why isn't he playing? Then you ended up, this is a horrible pick. Why did they pick
Wow.
him?
No, he is a bad pick.
I did say that.
He is a bad pick, but why haven't we seen just a game? You're 23 games under 500, Whitey.
Yeah.
I think they literally may have said, this is a horrible pick. Why isn't he playing? Why did? Oh,
Give him a chance. We don't
That's
know.
why Monty was fired. This is a horrible pick.
Yeah. The only saving grace is that draft, unless you were going to go Khalil Ware, wasn't a great draft.
Sure.
From where they were. So that's the only saving grace.
Sure.
But you still should see him. You still should see him. And that's why I got on Dave this morning. What was it? On Thursday when they had Doug on and he asked the Keon Ellis, he asked the Devin Carter question, but then coupled it, folded it
I
with
did hear
Keon,
that.
and he gave him an out.
That's right. I do remember.
He gave him
hearing
an
that.
out. Sometimes you got to stand on business,
Stand on business like
Sometimes.
Alan does.
So Alan Stiles has been in the press conference room when Doug Christie's been there and not asked a question, by the way. But I don't.
No. Hold on. No. Don't do that because everyone's got their process, and I'm not at all the games. So
That's
you're
true.
gonna have Brendan, you, Jake, all you guys. You got to ask your questions first, and then by the time I look up, we're 7 questions deep, and Tony Harvey got to hop in there. And I'm thinking, you know what? You guys got your process. I feel like an outsider. I'm just going to hang out here.
Hi, Matt George, Sactown Sports in the back with a question. Whitey Gleason's asked questions, though.
I ask questions. I've asked plenty of questions. Great questions.
Did you stand on business when you said it?
Well, at that time, there was no business to stand on.
I thought you
but
had
I
just
would.
gone to a game.
I did.
He left at halftime, though.
I showed up late. No, because of the show. Because of my new time slot.
I'm not saying I blame you.
The new time slot, I showed up after Doug's presser.
Okay.
And then I left at halftime.
Okay.
Yeah.
New time slot, you don't have to work until later in the day. You should be able to stay later, in theory, if you're going to bring in the new time slot.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh,
it doesn't
all
work
right.
like
Okay.
that. 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a question for Alan Stiles, but I want to respect the Drive Guys content. Can we ask you about the wedding, or is that specific Drive Guys content?
Oh, no. I mean,
do you remember it?
I remember. Of course I do.
Did you
of course
dance?
I do. Of course I did.
Oh.
I mean, look, I'm the vibes guy.
Really?
You know what I mean?
No.
And when I show up to a wedding, everybody knows that, hey, this guy's going to keep the vibes right.
Did you give a speech?
No speech for me.
It wasn't an open mic thing? If it was open mic, would you have grabbed the mic?
I like to keep it chill before the music comes on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Have you ever done like a speech at a wedding?
I've done weddings. I've performed weddings.
Wait, you've
I
performed?
performed
it?
weddings for both of my daughters,
Does
among
that-
other people.
What?
Does that count?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
He said among
I did
other
give-
people.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I did give speeches. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah, speech.
He'd be-
Yeah.
I think he'd be good at it.
Yeah.
I gave the worst one in the history of speeches.
Why?
A friend of mine was getting married to a young lady from Jasper, Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So we flew down there to Jasper, Alabama. I was the best man.
Okay.
I don't know why I did this. And I said, I want to thank everyone for their hospitality. And this is an old Jonathan Winters bit. And I said, you start y'all talking kind of like this.
Oh,
and
no.
Oh, no.
I said, sometimes I think maybe that's why y'all lost the war. And it was a Jonathan. It's like, hey, Jen, I believe over there. Hell, we got to surrender. So I said that.
What made it worse, too, is that was in like 1862.
The wars are still.
Yeah, just ended.
The war just ended.
My goodness, Whitey.
Yeah, but
Wow.
one of the bridesmaids said, "I liked your speech." So
She missed that
That is
part.
how they talk
Yeah.
down there, believe me.
Wow.
What's her name?
we're
like?
in the
I like
heart
your
of the South.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Abigail?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
probably.
Did you drink out of mason jars?
Probably.
Got to.
Probably.
All
Those
right.
the only type of jars.
Well, what's coming up on Drive Guys to kick off another week of coverage?
We're going to talk today about the fact that maybe, just maybe, Sean Payton was right. And I don't want to hear that the Kings are not showcasing anyone. Come on, it's going on right before our very eyes, and everything that happened at Alan's wedding.
Juicy.
That and more coming.
Well, stay tuned. The Drive Guys taking you all the way. Well, wait a minute. No. Yeah, you're all the way. Full show today.
All the way.
All
2 to
the
6.
way. 2 to 6, all the way.
2 to 6.
It's the Vibes guy and Whitey, who's not allowed to go back to Alabama, coming up next for you right here on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality